I'm smoking dip ships. What the f?
Welcome to the Hypothetical Nonsense podcast, where everything is fake and nothing is real. This might be our realest episode so far.
We get deep this episode.
This is what everybody has been waiting for.
That's what you've been asking for.
We're going to be comparing Family Guy and American Dad and seeing which show is better. Better or funnier?
Yeah,
Both. Right?
both.
Yeah.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got a good aggregate of episodes.
We watched
Three
episodes.
of Family Guy. We watched the best episode.
Fuck. I thought I was going to get
Okay.
I got you though.
For our audio listeners, there's a ghost in the studio.
There's a what?
For audio listeners, this comes off.
What is that? Okay.
Don't that sound a lot better?
Shut up! We
What?
watched. Shut up! Shut up!
I cast a spell on you, and now you're turned into a frog. All right, and go back to Caroline.
What a
You're good
riveting
now.
story. That was a joke in one of the that I liked.
Okay.
Aren't you a frog?
We watched. You turned me back.
Fuck.
We watched the highest rated episode of Family Guy or
via
American Dad.
IMDb, right?
Yes, and we watched the lowest rated episode, and then we just watched a random episode. Okay, so the highest rated episode of Family Guy is Journey into the Multiverse.
For the highest rated episode of Family Guy, according to IMDb, with a rating of 9.1 out of 10. We've got
That's
Road
better than Interstellar.
to the Multiverse. For the worst episode in the Family Guy universe, according to IMDb, it is You Can't Handle the Booth with a 4.2. And for each show, we picked a random episode from Family Guy and American Dad. And the random episode we got for Family Guy was Single White Dad with a score of 7.2. For American Dad, the best episode, according to IMDb, was Rapture's Delight with an 8.8. The worst was American Fun with a 4.0. And the random episode was Return of the Bling with a 7.5.
Should we break down what Family Guy and American Dad is?
No.
Yeah, let's break this
No.
down. So Family Guy...
It's a
and-
Family Guy.
Well, okay, let's not be reductive. Family Guy is sort of about family. And when we think about... Well, hold on. Hold on, wait a
She
second.
said it's about a guy, and you were like, "Don't be reductive," and you said it's about a
about
family.
family.
Wait a second.
Which is
No,
the
no,
Wait a moment.
word.
Wait a moment. Wait a moment.
He's saying something.
But if you think...
so is she.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Damn. So if we think about the guy that is within the family,
Yeah.
you put that together, you make Family Guy.
Yeah,
An American Dad, let's just break this down.
is about a dad.
Well, let's not be reductive.
happens to be an
He is in
American.
America. Oh, took the words right out of my mouth.
Well,
Face.
Stan. Is his name Stan Smith?
Stan. Wait. So the reason why, and okay, I
explain.
suggested this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because I have a bone to pick with a
Okay.
lot of the conversations around Family Guy and American Dad.
Yeah.
What
They're
I
both Seth
hear-
MacFarlane, right?
Both Seth
Yeah.
MacFarlane, both his brainchild baby,
Yeah.
but they have varying degrees of involvement when it comes to Seth MacFarlane, depending on the stages
For
of
sure.
the show.
And they both are
Don't do
just
that.
like a white family with a few kids, like
And a
a
weird
talking
thing.
pet,
Yeah.
And a wife.
and like another
Like
character
a whore
with
wife.
like okay, wow.
What?
And another like character with like gay tendencies.
Yeah, a gay one.
But
A
in
gay
Family
relief
Guy,
character?
they flip flop a lot.
Between gay, what do you mean?
Well,
Every
Stewie-
character has a tendency,
Okay.
which is interesting.
No, but Stewie's
Stewie
always
is
been
the
like the gay
gay.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's not like Roger's like the fun gay, been out since like the 80s. Stewie is
Yeah.
like the I don't even know.
A baby.
Well, no, I mean he's a baby, but like the way that they play his homosexuality or how it's come out in the show is it's extremely closeted and like kind of.
I don't think it's
no,
closeted.
no,
I think
not
it's
in the-
just
No,
nobody
it was-
acknowledges
it
it.
was
No one's like, wait, so
closeted.
are you gay?
Well, here's the thing.
like
It feels
dudes?
closeted.
It only feels that way is because half the characters don't understand Stewie.
That's
Because they
true.
don't know
Oh,
what
yeah,
he's
yeah,
saying.
But I'm even thinking about like the episode, and we didn't watch this, but the episode where they like get I think locked in a bank. It's like Stewie and Brian are like locked together in a bank someplace, and like what Stewie is asking Brian to do is just so sexually perverse and bizarre that it just
Which is crazy because he's a dog.
'Cause
not
he's a
even
dog and
guy.
it's a baby.
He's not even a guy.
because
He's
it's a dog and it's a
dog.
baby, and their whole relationship has been like they're like brothers sort of, but then but Stewie's attracted. It's
if
very
you try to
weird.
make it make sense, it gets weird.
doesn't make sense.
With Family Guy, if you try to like assign logic to things, then you're like, oh,
because it's Family Guy, I think, puts funny first, or at the very least they put humor before the continuity of the show.
Yeah.
So
For
Stewie
sure.
can. I think it was established that Stewie can't be understood by like half the characters,
Yeah.
but sometimes they can hear what he says.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But to summarize, the conversations around Family Guy and American Dad are there are the people who want to sound smarter by saying American Dad is better, and there are people who, like, I guess like us, who think Family Guy is funny in the sort of spectacle way, not as a show, but as what Family Guy has become in the stratosphere.
Yes.
Sure.
And I wanted to get down to the bottom of this once and for all.
Yeah.
The people who have seen both shows, I think, will come to the conclusions that we will come to within this podcast.
Yeah.
But the people who make definitive statements like this one is better, this one is better,
Yeah.
you guys are bullshitting. You guys are just
You don't
bullshitting.
know what you're talking about.
But
Take it from the experts.
I do have a
take it
question.
from the experts, us.
I have a question, and maybe this is something that Kat should look up. I want to know what was the genesis or the catalyst for American Dad, because it feels like with American Dad, the humor is a little bit looser, but generally speaking, it seems like they're trying to do more commentary on like the standard American. They're making a lot of jokes about being an American and like Stan
patriotism,
like really liking Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, so they started as a political parody, and then they completely went away from it into the point. So to your point, yes, but it was only season one. It's like, we're only going to make fun of politics, and they realized that was not going to work for them really well.
That makes sense, because that's what a lot of it feels like, where it's like, oh, you have like the guy that's sucking Ronald Reagan's dick, and it's like, okay, I see why Seth
Conservative
MacFarlane did
dad.
this, but I don't think that anyone cares about that humor. It's just not the platform for it. So I could see why people who say American Dad is funnier or better, they're trying to sound smart, but if you've watched the show, like, it's just not. There's just nothing holding it together.
Well, I think the theory that I have is that people say American Dad is funnier is because, or the reason why they say that is it sounds smart to say.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you've watched Family Guy, but you've watched American Dad as well. Like, you've got the time to really dig deep into this stuff. And you know that, like, the popular filth, this is the underground shit.
It's
Go
bad.
fuck yourself, man.
Because really, King of the Hill is the best show. That's another conversation that we'll have later. Actually, no, and they're completely different. It's not even worth comparing.
So let's
get into an episode. Should we start with the worst?
the worst. I think we should get. Let's go from You Can't Handle the Booth.
Yeah.
From Family Guy.
Yeah.
So we timestamped some of the, or we have sort of a general idea of where we laughed, where we didn't laugh.
Sure.
We tallied up every time we either laughed out loud, did a little nose snort, or we had an acknowledgement that something is funny, like that's so
That's
silly.
good.
That's
That's great.
That's just clever.
In the later seasons, because it felt like I haven't seen a lot of the later seasons of Family Guy, but I used to watch the earlier ones a lot, and it just seems like Seth MacFarlane doesn't understand or doesn't like the fact that like technology and social media is a thing. And like this episode was just like, iPhones are bad. iPhones are so bad. We don't like the iPhone and people using their iPhones. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
What? Because that was the. So to explain the episode, You Can't Handle the Booth is a DVD commentary of a fake episode of Family Guy that the voice actors are doing.
It was a fake episode?
Yeah, that episode was made for this episode.
Really?
Yeah, that's a fake episode.
Yeah.
That changes my perspective on it, because they said they dropped like the season number and episode number that the episode was, so I thought that was real.
It's like I'm pretty sure it was a custom episode for this episode. Maybe they released that full episode, but it was for this.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
my thought is to that. The fake episode, I think, was almost a parody of itself. I don't think he was making a statement about technology, because didn't Jesus rise and start breathing fire everywhere? I don't think he was like phone, because then they got stuck in the banister.
Not that episode. I mean, like in general, it felt like a lot of them were like boomer jokes. Where there's one thing that they said in a different episode where I was just sort of like, they're like making fun of millennials. Like, do you know what a DVD is when you go into your grandmother's house? And I was like, are we really doing this?
Yeah,
joke?
that was the opening joke to this episode.
And like I don't know if that was serious, but it's like, are you really explaining DVD? Like most of your audience probably, if they are from Gen Z, were born in like 2000, 2002, 2003. We had DVD. Who are you talking to, Seth MacFarlane? I did not mind You Can't Handle the Booth. I was surprised it was so poorly rated because I thought it was kind of clever, but maybe people don't like self-referential content.
I was just of the opinion that it was a little just distracting. Like I didn't really know what to pay attention to at certain times. Like when I feel like they cut in at times that were like I was paying attention to like the voiceover, but then like also trying to follow the plot of what was happening in the episode at the same time, and I did, yeah. I thought some of the commentary was clever, so that it's a cool like medium to make jokes. I thought that was like cool, but I didn't think it was worth like I didn't really know like what was going on for part of it. But also I will say I watched this one towards the end of the night, and like halfway through, I started watching these at like 11 p.m. last night, and then halfway through, I thought I was really bugging that I ate like I put like an HEB like meal in the oven, and for like 10 minutes longer than it said, but it still seemed undercooked. But I ate it anyways. But I was really bugging that I ate undercooked bacon last night, and I was like. I was a little distracted for half of these episodes. Anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes sense.
I thought you had like salmonella.
Yeah, because the bacon, it said to put it in for 18 minutes. I checked at 18 minutes. That shit was raw. And I checked again at 25 minutes, and I was like, should I take it out? Like, I don't know. Like, does this bacon just not get crispy?
Throw that shit on the pan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then put it in the
I probably
oven.
should have done that.
I will say I don't think I've ever heard. I can't remember the actress's name who voices Lois, but she's on. Obviously, they reference it. She's really wonderful actress. And she's great on MTV. But I don't think I've ever heard a performance like that from her on Family Guy. Where there's a scene in this episode where Lois finds out that. Peter was married had a wife prior to Sarah Paulson, who is famously a lesbian, but she's like screaming and crying in this episode, and it sounded so visceral and real. I was just like, wow, she's really going for her Emmy here. It's amazing.
That was
the booth.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I was like, this is a low-rated episode, but I think this is one of like legitimately in terms of acting abilities, Lois's best performance in the show, and you can't see the face.
That's what I'll say. I did like that part.
Well, Lois definitely has some good. I mean, the clip that was going viral a couple months ago, where she's like, Peter.
Yeah.
When she's about to have sex with her mom, that was a pretty visceral scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Lois has some good performances across the board
She's
when
a good
it comes
character.
to Family Guy. But this episode, yeah, I think it was cool that the DVD commentary was like a way for them to throw away like some jokes that maybe they like, just like one-liners that they thought were funny.
Like, whose water bottle is this?
Yeah,
you know, shit like
we
that.
should label our water bottle, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit disorienting.
Yeah.
Like hearing them talk and then looking at I'm not watching people talk.
Yeah.
I'm watching a episode of Family Guy, but it's also another fake episode of Family Guy.
Yeah.
But they're talking exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
almost like two episodes at once.
And the episode is kind of like a phoning in episode,
Yeah.
which they make a joke. They're like, why am I singing a Muppet song now? Like
Yeah,
it was just like confusing my brain.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on? And then when the real actors come in,
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane is just Brian.
Seth MacFarlane. Well, he made a joke
He's
that
like,
I did
I'm
laugh
Seth,
at, where
I'm
he's
Brian.
like, and by the way, I'm Seth, and this is not Brian.
Yeah.
That shit was funny. But the episode, I feel like the reason it's so low rated is I'm sure it's such a deviation from the rest of the show.
That makes sense.
That it's like literally an experiment episode. Which American Dad, the worst rated one, is also another experiment episode.
Yeah.
Which I think just people didn't really.
That's why I
vibe
liked
with it.
them.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm glad they made these choices.
It's interesting.
I will say, I was making a sandwich while I started with the lowest rated episodes. I started with the lowest rated episode of Family Guy. So I was making a sandwich while I was watching this episode. So maybe I was less disoriented because I was just sort of like, oh, I'm just listening to the commentary and having it go back and forth. I thought, so it was interesting. Sarah Paulson was actually in that episode, which I just thought was so funny because it's Family Guy. And Sarah Paulson is like, just like Oscar Emmy bait,
which she kept saying. She's like, I actually won an Emmy for, and Lois was like, okay, shut up, take a, and then Shannon, take a lap, Shannon, take a lap, Shannon.
Yeah.
That was good.
But that was funny having Sarah Paulson just, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. There were a few jokes that should we say the jokes that we laughed at, or is that or later?
I think we can.
Yeah. I would like to give an acknowledgement.
It's an award ceremony.
Honorable mentions.
Just saying that the house is actually in Burbank. I thought that was funny.
This is actually in Burbank.
Yeah. I let out a chuckle at there's at 4:15.
Yeah, it's funny if you timestamp it. That's funny.
Meg was talking over the cutaway segment, and they like called it out, and I thought that was clever.
Talking over the setup to the
Yeah,
cutaway.
yeah. Oh yeah.
We don't know what's going on right now.
And that was actually the only time that I laughed that episode.
For this episode, I had a couple that I acknowledged that I thought were funny, and there were I think there was two that I laughed at. At 02:22, when Peter was choking the turtle, I thought that was just a fun visual gag within the context. And at 03:17, when Chris laughed at his own joke, I didn't laugh at that, but I thought that was like a funny character moment. Like, yeah, Chris would do that.
He kept doing it too.
He did it the second time, which I didn't write down, but I still thought it was like, that's Chris would do that.
He would do that.
At 04:18, when Chris said, when talking about Nicki Minaj, Iggy Azalea, and the third person, he's like, they're butt bandits?
Yeah.
I'd laughed at that.
Interesting.
I like the line delivery of that. At 09:33, Peter drops a meatball, and then a meatball comes in a car, and is like, get in. And then the meatball gets in the car. I just thought that was funny. I wrote meatball car with 3 question marks. At 16:33, when the burglars were singing the halfway down the stairs, I didn't laugh when he sang it.
Yeah.
When they pulled out the karaoke machine.
Yeah.
When I thought the joke was that his name was also Brian Griffin, but I guess the joke was that he used Brian's Amazon package thingy.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny that like the guy, yep, I'm Brian Griffin, and then he pulls out a karaoke machine and he sings the song. I just thought the callback was funny.
Yeah.
And at 1949, when Seth was like, "This is Seth, not Brian, by the way."
Only time I thought that was funny.
So that was my my tallying of the episodes.
I liked the idea of Mila Kunis having a relationship with Meg, because the parallel between, and they mentioned this, Mila Kunis having, being this beautiful woman that's like married to Ashton Kutcher, has a wonderful career, and then she's being fart on in one of these episodes.
Meg was like, "Why am I so hot in real life?"
Yeah, I thought that was like I liked that they acknowledged it, and they acknowledged it that way. It wasn't like, oh, they had Mila Kunis as a cartoon character come in. It was in this dynamic, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was just an interesting episode. Nothing about it was too clever or funny. I like the idea, because when you UVA, they have water bottles, and if you've ever worked with someone that's a little bit a diva, if you will, they can get really weird about like refreshments.
This is my water bottle.
Yeah, so that was like, that's a real thing that happens. The idea that you'd like call up and find out that someone's getting paid more than you, I'm like, this is just real shit that happens, that I'm sure has happened throughout the time working on Family Guy. They wanted to point it out. Also, I like the idea. I thought that the bit where they were talking about the writers, like the writers' credits were coming on, and they were making mention
the
of
fun facts.
They were like, this guy cheated on his wife or something like that. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we love.
Was there a fake
Shelley.
name in there?
No, that was a real name.
That was real?
Cherry. We love Cherry.
That long ass last name?
Cherry. That is a real. Well, I think there's a joke in Family Guy about that name or something.
Really?
I think that's a real person.
But I like that, because I was like, oh, we all work with people where when we see their name, we're like, oh my God, we love Fisher. Love Fisher. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, Cherry. Oh,
yeah.
Mark.
I thought that was a clever little bit. I thought all of that stuff was just sort of like, when you're making a show and you have a lot of jokes when you're making a show, but you can't really talk about them. And you can make an episode about making the show, and this is how they did it. So I thought it was clever.
So you thought it was just interesting?
Yeah, I thought it was clever.
Will, you?
I thought it was clever, but not their funniest episode.
I think I was just a little disoriented.
Yeah,
throughout the whole thing.
That was the biggest thing for me too.
Yeah, that was what was taking me out of it. Maybe, I mean, this isn't a market research circle, but maybe if there's like a visual cue, like a light that went on when it's like, now the actors are talking. I don't know, something or something or whatever.
Take notes, Seth.
They did good with the audio editing though. Like that was enough to clue me in that like now they're talking.
Yeah.
Like the slowly like
the closer to
phasing
the
out
mic.
the audio.
Yeah.
That helped, but I guess I was also late too. So that could have been a factor.
So
But-
moving on to
Yeah.
the worst American Dad episode via IMDb.
Can we also
Bleep
point
James.
out, just before we go into this, there's a lot of racism against Asian
Asian
communities.
people.
It's really bizarre. Like throughout both
All,
shows.
Yeah, both shows. Yeah.
And it came up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why it came up so much.
I mean, it's in.
New
What?
glasses alert.
New glasses alert,
Oh shit!
Santiago.
Damn. Got the frame.
There we go. Now I'm recording. Hey, everybody.
the fuck?
What?
Wait,
What?
Glasses.
So we're putting this in the video.
Oh, they look
Oh, what? That's sick. Wait, why is only the right one recording? Do you do this? The
It
left
merges both of them.
Does the light have to be on?
Yes, for legal reasons.
Fuck that.
to be on?
Fuck that.
Creep. What?
I don't want people to know I am recording.
Why
What the fuck?
why do you get spy
Why?
glasses then?
No, you get spy glasses and you hope that there isn't a light recording that tells people that you're spying on them, right? I want to be able to turn off the indication light.
You're a creep.
No.
What
No.
are you recording that does that? What? Don't look at the camera. The camera's not your friend. Blur her face. Editor, blur her face every time she looks at the camera. Stop blur.
Try it.
No, you can track that. Track it. Put it in 0.5 speed and track that shit. Frame by fucking frame. So American Fung.
American Fung. Is that what it's called?
American Fung, yeah.
Yes.
Because Fung Hua is the Chinese billionaire
That bought the show.
that
he
bought
bought the show.
I like that concept. I think it's funny.
I looked up a little bit. Apparently, there's some like reason why it was like the head writer left the show, and this was like I'm not gonna get into that, but apparently
Yeah.
there's a reason
There's,
why
like,
this
some
episode's the way it is.
Interesting.
But we're just gonna talk about it
Yes,
contextless.
contextless. So the concept is Stan forgets about his anniversary with his wife. So he sends her to the mental hospital
Yeah, because I don't even know what the justification was for that.
because
So he'd have more
it's
time to
minimum
plan.
3 days if
Yeah.
you like.
Be in the psych ward.
Yeah, for them to evaluate you. So that gave him 3 days to figure something out. But then he just went to the mall and started buying a bunch of
He ate
shit.
It's such a poorly written episode.
That
Well,
part,
that
that part
the-
was weird.
I guess, and that doesn't mean it's not funny.
No, it's
but
funny.
it was the point. The point was that like Fung Hua was like, "Here's Family Guy," or not.
Here's American
American
Dad
Dad.
now. I bought it.
I bought American, which was funny at the beginning.
I think it's a funny
yeah.
idea. I
like-
wish that it had gone further and they were like speaking because clearly this show is racist. I thought it would be funny if they were like not speaking like proper English, like the sentences sounded too grammatically correct, where it just wasn't funny anymore. Like the humor was taken away because it was just like this person just learned English and was actually writing the show. I wanted more of that, and if it was a full episode of that, I would have thought that was funny. But it was pacing wise. Such a bizarre episode, and I don't think that had anything to do with the fact that it was written by this guy. I think it was
there were some
American Dad's
weird
written that
bits,
way.
too.
Well, from the beginning, we'll
Yeah.
start at the top
Yeah.
of the episode. Fung Hua opens with like, don't scroll like a TikTok, like don't scroll, stop scrolling.
Don't
and he's
click
like,
away.
I bought American Dad. Here's my money.
That-
and then
I laughed.
I genuinely laughed
laughed
out
at
loud
that part,
when he
too.
showed the money. It's
Just
a JPEG of money, but
Just
it's
in
silent.
silence.
It's
The
silent.
silence is what got
And
me.
it hangs for a little too long. It's like, I'm Fung Hua and I have so much money. Here's my money.
Don't believe me?
And then he's like,
JPEG stock photo of a safe with money flowing out of
dead
it.
ass goes, see?
We're
That
laughing.
part, yeah, that part
We're
killed
laughing.
me.
It's good.
I'm not gonna lie.
It was good.
I added 2 laughs because I laughed. I went, ugh. Then I laughed again thinking about it. So I added 2 to my laugh count.
that part was hilarious.
we should have that BFT investor. Okay, continue.
wait, well, yes.
Yeah.
BFT investor.
Yeah.
But real quick, for who you can't handle the booth, how many laughs do we have? I had 6, which includes
Oh.
acknowledgments, chuckles.
3.
You had 1.
No, I think I'd have overall. I'd say I had 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 3, 6.
And
okay.
an acknowledgement of the acting on Lois's part.
Okay.
That was good.
Back to
one.
American Fung. So it opens with that. Like
Yeah.
maybe a 30, 45 second of acknowledgement of like,
That
hey,
this Chinese millionaire has just bought the show. From
and now there's
Seth
going to be some
MacFarlane.
changes.
There'll be a couple changes that
Billionaire.
you won't even notice in the
Mhm.
show.
immediately the first credit is executive producer Feng Hua, which I thought was a funny graphic thing.
I didn't notice that.
It said Feng Hua,
That's
executive
funny.
producer,
Yeah.
which was pretty silly. But
Stan
yeah, it opens on Stan.
in the car.
Yes. And I think, was he driving to like his job or something?
He's driving at night, and his boss calls him to remind him of his anniversary, which I thought was
yeah.
so
Stan is like,
weird.
what?
He's like, don't you? Today's your anniversary. He's like, it's not my anniversary today. He's like, that's
You said
what you
that
would
last
say
year.
because
Or,
you
yeah.
forget every year. And he's like, oh no. And then,
Yeah.
like, what is happening? Also, is that is his boss played by fucking Picard? Can we look that up?
Who
Patrick
Picard
Stewart?
is?
Yeah.
I don't know actually.
Is it played by Patrick Stewart?
No, I was.
Oh yeah.
So then I think his boss is the one that recommends like
Put
take her to the mental hospital because then you'll have some time to plan.
Like it's not. The thing is that it's so bad that it's funny. It's such bad writing, such bad pacing that I thought it was funny. The idea that she gets into the psych hold and he spends all that time buying stuff for himself and he forgets that he put his wife in the hospital. Like, why even do that scene? That wasn't funny.
Well,
But
I
it
guess
was
that
funny
was
that it wasn't funny.
It's funny because it's funny you're saying that because it sounds like that was the point.
I don't know. I when I'm watching episodes of American Dad, because even the best one, which we'll get into, the pacing for that, even that was bad. Like, it just seems like that show, they don't really know what the dynamic is between the characters and like what they want to do. The pacing felt so weird. And that's why it was funny to me, because I was like, this is just awkward and terrible. But I don't think it's intentional.
I think it was intentional for this episode at the very least.
Yeah.
Because the whole, like, they kept acknowledging, like, isn't it American Dad? It's your favorite show that you love, right?
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Isn't it exactly the same?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not to say that it makes it funny,
Yeah.
but I feel like that was the point.
I would hope so. Because it just felt so strange and random. Also,
Yeah. Also, the side story of like Roger
with the closet.
with the clothes, I feel like didn't really go anywhere.
That
Like, that
felt
was
like
just-
the point. It felt like that was the point. Like, that didn't make any sense.
They were just doing bullshit in
Yeah.
the B plot. Roger's like, all my clothes. They're on my clothes. And then they kept interacting with the real Feng Hua.
It didn't seem, and this is where I'm a compare it to Family Guy. I feel like they didn't really just like hammer in that like it didn't feel like they were laughing at themselves at all in the episode or like acknowledging how bullshit certain like of course they acknowledged when like in the newspaper it's like the zooming in on the newspaper and it's like, oh, Feng Hua expands his fortune billions of dollars or something, and then it's silent like obviously that's bullshit. It's like what is it, American Dad? But some things like the clothes part just seemed like it was bad on accident. I don't know. It's like some parts of that episode seemed like it was bad on accident.
That's
to me.
kind of what I meant, and I would say that actually I would feel the opposite, where the pacing for the insane asylum, that felt like it was bad on accident, and that part, that B plot, where it's just like there's too many clothes in the closet, where we, and it just seemed like a bit so that they could show T-shirts that said funny things. That's just sort of what it felt like that was there for. But I will say if we're going to talk about acknowledgments, I did like the part where one of the nurses started doing an ad for a perfume bottle.
From Feng Hua's
perfume
line.
And it was funny because I was watching this and the nurse's voice actress, I was like, wow, she has a really nice voice. It's funny that they would cast her to play a nurse in an insane asylum. Like, knowing Seth MacFarlane, I feel like they would just use a throwaway voice actor. And then all of a sudden she's starting to do an ad for a perfume bottle. And I was like, oh, that's why they use this voice actress.
It's funny because you think it's over, then it cuts to another angle of her still doing it.
That's why it was funny, because it went on for too long.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny as well.
It's awesome.
But I'm trying to think how to like summarize this episode.
Yeah.
Synopsis, because it really is Stan.
Oh yeah.
Stan kidnaps, or no, Stan orchestrates a kidnapping of Francine.
To get her out of the insane asylum because she stayed there.
to get her into the insane
Oh,
asylum.
sorry. Yeah, sorry.
And then he goes to the mall, fucks around and dicks around at the mall,
Yeah.
eats some pizza with his pants off. And then he goes to the insane asylum, but she's like pissed at him because she's like, why did you put me here?
Yeah,
and he's
this
like,
was you.
And the doctors are like, oh, she should be in here for a little bit longer. And he's like, oh, okay, more time to plan. But then he's like, wait, I have to get my wife back. So then he goes back to the insane asylum, pretending to be crazy.
Yeah, humping the mailbox.
Which I will say, I did mark. The
dry.
orderly said you didn't have to dry hump our mailbox. He said, yeah, you go out and get your mail and tell me if it's dry.
I don't know what that meant.
It's wet mail now.
I don't get it though. I do not.
Like dry hump.
Oh, and tell me if it's. Oh,
You go to your mail and tell me if it's dry.
it's bad.
I like that
That
one.
was such a because
I thought that
dry
was funny.
humping and tell me if it's okay. Yeah, I guess so.
I thought that was funny.
I thought that was interesting. I just didn't get it.
And then I marked 3 seconds before when he said, whoopsie doodles, I'm a nutso.
I love that. I fucking that actually. I
Like
laughed
beating
out loud.
his
I
head,
lied.
like, whoopsie doodles, I'm a nutso.
That I thought was funny.
What happened after that?
He breaks her out.
No,
And
No,
or tries
he
to break
doesn't.
her out.
Yes.
right.
There's a
and then
talent
the-
show.
The talent show with the pudding.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
it was just an excuse for Seth MacFarlane to sing. I feel like he does like the Blues Brothers song about Chicago.
Which is fine. We
No,
do a lot of
I love when he does it. I love hearing him sing. I just always think it's cute. I actually just think it's cute when he like tries to put in opportunities for him to sing. I think it's sweet. I would do the same thing.
because
if I
there's a
was
lot of
singer.
music in both of these
Yeah,
shows.
the music is really wonderful in both of these shows. The direction for the music is wonderful, and even in the later seasons of Family Guy, I think that they have like a different orchestral interpretation of the themes, and it's good.
Yeah,
But anyways,
I'm just reading what I'm...
yeah, but she is Stan is trying to get Francine out of the hospital, but then they're kidnapped or captured by the head doctor at this hospital, and they're given lobotomies. That's how that's actually how the episode ends.
Yeah.
Well, only
Well-
Stan is lobotomized.
Right.
Yeah, but the episode ends. Feng Hua comes back and he's like, "You're probably wondering what happened.
Well,
I don't
everything was-
remember.
Everything's fine because they went to Feng Hua, like Feng Hua Estates or something."
Yeah, and they cured his lobotomy, which I thought was funny.
Everything just worked out because they stayed at Feng Hua Resort.
Yeah.
It just was a resort.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was
that
like
part
literally,
funny.
it was 4K footage of like a random resort and like people like running
It's a
through
good
like
idea.
the beach because they went to Feng Hua
It's
Resort.
funny how both of those American Dad episodes ended with like something really, really bad happening, and you're like, how are we going to continue on with the sitcom? And then it's just like, just kidding, like Stan, it's heaven, or in this case, it's like, just kidding, he didn't have a lobotomy. Both episodes end that
This
way.
one was more stupid. This one I liked
Yeah,
because of just how like.
That's why I'm so surprised these are low rated. I guess it's because as Gen Z, as the Gen Z audience, the way we interpret these episodes, when they're bad, we think they're better.
Yeah,
and when they're
But if I was a critic,
But we have
yeah.
no context either.
like the consistency. For
Yeah,
the show.
imagine you're a real Family Guy American Dad watcher
Yeah.
and you get to American Fung after you got to like your normal American Dad.
Yeah.
As a normal viewer, I get why it's low because they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That's because that's literally the normal viewer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're special or we're not the normal viewer, but we're not the normal viewer.
Oh, of
Because
course.
we have no context.
Yeah.
We don't have like 10, 15 years, decades spanning of like us watching Family Guy.
I don't
and American
enjoy
Dad.
the actual show. And so when they do diverge and they do something experimental, I like it more because I don't actually
what
enjoy
I'm-
the
yeah.
actual show. I enjoy when they fuck around.
Yeah, there's different reasons why people like these episodes and why they like the regular like syndicated like this is Family Guy or this is American Dad.
Yeah.
So I get why these are the lowest rated, but there might be some other episodes that are worse.
It's okay. I totally get it. But I'm going to remember that.
Did you
Best-
like it, dislike it, American Fun?
let me
Fun?
call out. Let me do my acknowledgments.
Do your acknowledgement.
I enjoyed the beginning. The like, I'm a Chinese billionaire. Don't believe me. That shit was hilarious.
Really funny.
I liked the zoom in on the news, like a few of the Feng Hua like references. Like I liked the zoom in on the newspaper, saying Feng Hua has expanded his fortune. I think it's just the silences that get me. It's like just like silent for a little too long. I liked when he was getting lobotomized. He said every villain is the hero of his own apple cinnamon monkey toaster.
Man, I fucking
Yeah, that
cried
was
at that
funny.
one.
I like
Every
that
villain
part.
is the hero of their apple cinnamon monkey toaster. I like how we
So
both wrote that
stupid.
one down.
Yeah, and I think that was it. There were some. This isn't an acknowledgement. There were some just weird bits in here. Like there's one point where he was in the mall and in the shoe store, and I've actually just he put on a bib, like he was gonna eat the shoe.
I thought I was misconstruing the joke.
So did I.
I was like, he's not is he eating the shoe?
And then he just puts it on his foot.
But that made me laugh because I was like, oh, so he's gonna eat the shoe. And then he puts it on his foot. I'm like, wait, did I fuck up? Was that me?
I do like that about these shows is that I do like random equals funny humor. I like it a lot.
But it was a misdirection.
Yeah.
It was a random misdirection.
But that's what I mean. It's like random with a little bit of
the comedic flourish.
Yeah, with a twist.
I just keep thinking about Gooch Tickle. Whenever I look at your fucking face, I'm just Gooch Tickle. That fucking killed me. And sometimes I'll look at you and it just have a flashback. I'm like, huh?
It's our greatest thumbnail we ever made. No, but I think it's like it's one thing to be random, and to be totally random isn't funny.
Look at me, Williams.
No, I'm never looking at you.
Look at me,
again.
Williams.
I'm gonna do exactly what he's doing.
William, look at me.
William. He's dissociating.
I can dissociate so
I thought you were
quickly.
gonna do the same thing as me.
Oh,
Repeat it, fuckface.
Janctuary.
It's February, you fuckface.
Leave Jinx.
We didn't even say anything at the same penis
Time.
or fuck.
I think, guys, at one point we are gonna have to do an acknowledgement of the Caroline racist compilation, because my mom texted me and she was like, Caroline, I don't think it's a good idea that they keep releasing videos like this because people are gonna think that you're actually racist. And
like you're not a part of this.
No. Well, yeah, but that's what I mean. I was like, I'm doing this. This is a team effort of racism, but not actually. But I'll go in the comments and people are like, it's really disappointing to see that Caroline's racist after all these years. And I'm just
Those are jokes. After all these years.
No, they're not jokes, because people, it's like they're replying. Oh, no, I didn't give the right context. A video was reposted that I had made a long time ago when I was like 16, and somebody sent it to me, and the comment sections were like, it's really crazy that Caroline's a racist now. And then people will respond to them and be like, that's so disappointing to hear. So it's not that, it's so people would make jokes,
but other people
and then
think
other
they're
people
serious.
see it and they'll think that I'm actually racist. And I think I honestly don't have a problem with it, because I think that if you do any research, it's fine. But I just think that it is funny that my mom was genuinely concerned. I was like, you don't need to worry about that. People know. And then I'm like, oh, no. People don't know. People don't know at all. I think it's funny.
So American Fung.
Yeah. So American Fung.
I'm going to do my acknowledgements.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just a real laugher because I love the little funnies.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can't handle the booth. I only laughed 6 times. I just thought the episode was disorienting.
Yeah.
I don't think I liked it. I don't think I liked this episode either. But I'm going to laugh at some shit that I think is funny.
Yeah.
So 0000, Fung showing a picture of the JPEG money.
Yeah.
That was funny. And then executive producer Fung Wong. 0341, Francine getting kidnapped. I just like the performance of her yelling. I thought that was funny. 0352, Stan goes up the escalator and he's like talking. He's like, oh, I guess I'm at the top.
I thought that was funny too.
0452, the Vanderpump Rules poster. That was just funny. 0623, the newspaper. The newspaper shot.
Yeah.
0854, whoopsie doodles, I'm a nutso. And then 0857, you didn't have to dry hump our mailbox. Yeah, you go out and get your mail and tell me if it's dry. 1210, Stan punching the sedated Blues Brothers. He punched them and they were still like sedated, so he punched them again.
But that was funny because it was a small one. He's like, I'm not going to fit into this. And so he punched the bigger one after that. And I was like, what?
I thought that was funny. 1550, Francine says, is this an operating room? And Stan, as he's kissing, goes, yeah, and I'm trying to operate. 1650, every villain is the hero of their own apple cinnamon monkey toaster. 1720, Fung is now everyone's voice actor. So he's like, I'm the kid.
I'm the girl.
And now I'm the girl.
Yeah.
Now I'm a dog, I think. When talking about Roger. That was funny. Now I'm a dog, I think.
Yeah.
And then Mickey Mouse at the end. When they're all like, Mickey Mouse! And then Mickey Mouse is just dancing with them.
They did that joke.
Wait, what?
American Chinese Dad.
Yeah. I thought that was actually. I thought that was funny, but I'm just like, this is just racist, and how are they getting away with this?
I just like that Mickey Mouse.
No,
came
I know,
out.
but also it wasn't Mickey Mouse. It was bootleg Mickey Mouse. It was
but they
like
still said Mickey Mouse.
yeah, but the way that it was drawn,
was purple.
It was
Yeah.
like
It's a purple
a
rat.
bootleg fake. Yeah,
So, yeah, I didn't because did you watch to the end when it became American Chinese Dad?
I don't think so. I think I literally
thought it was
I thought it
over?
was over at the
No.
resort.
you missed it, and it's a funny
No.
bit. It is a funny
At
bit.
the end, Fang I think brings out another guy who's like
Chinese American dad.
Yeah, it's Chinese American Dad now, and then they did the same thing in the Family Guy episode.
That's what I was saying. But it was racist
it was
towards
Japanese
people, but
people.
it was the same joke of they're not.
They're not speaking English.
Yeah,
but
I will.
Yeah, they're racist towards many different races in throughout both of these shows.
But
I think we happen
specifically
to
Asian.
I think we happen to watch ones where they made a lot of Asian
I think we got
jokes.
unlucky.
Yeah, but
That's
they are pretty fair with their racism for the most part.
Yeah.
And like being racist towards literally everybody.
Not a lot of
I
anti-Semitism,
do think
though.
from a lot of Family Guy and American Dad stuff, a lot of comedies in that circle, it seems like Asian people are targeted though.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
Because
y'all,
you can kind
what
of
are we doing?
you could get away with it for a while, and then you couldn't. Like no, I was gonna say South Park, but they kind of pushed the envelope. I will say, separate from that, with American Dad, the only times that I really laughed or enjoyed the show is when it clearly sounded like there was just throwaway lines, where it was just sort of like whatever the fuck, like the voice actor just didn't feel like saying anything, or just a throwaway line. I love that humor in American Dad. You don't get it that much in Family Guy, where it sounds like they just don't care. And that was specifically in the Get Your Bling Back or whatever it was.
Return of the Bling.
Return of the
which,
Bling.
Speaking of, Return of the Bling was our random episode.
Yep, of
which
American Dad.
we can talk about.
Yes.
The 2 random episodes I generated, they had the same like IMDb scores, which was perfect.
That's great.
That was perfect. So Return of the Bling, this episode was about Stan idolizing a hockey team, but finding out that Roger was that hockey player that Stan loved so much.
Mm-hmm.
Stan then learns that Roger was on steroids during their championship run.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
In the 80s. So they go back to return Roger's ring because it's an illegitimate ring because he was cheating. Roger admits that he was the only one taking steroids. They go, but then it turns into a Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Parody?
Roger crashes the plane.
He chainsaws the wing of the plane.
Yeah.
They crash, and then it's now Roger Schmiegel.
Yeah.
And Stan and this, what's the son's name?
I don't know. his name.
Jankum. Stan and Jankum, they're like just like Stan and Jankum the whole episode, but Roger Schmiegel.
Yeah.
And this episode was weird a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, with the pacing, it's just so bizarre. Oh, also the B plot where
The koala.
The koala.
I thought I was fucking losing my
Yeah.
mind.
is that a thing
Is
that's
that
been established
that's a
before?
reoccurring
I
character?
wrote
Is
down-
Reggie a...
Yeah.
Word for word. I must have missed something, but why is there a koala named Reggie?
Yeah.
Because I thought this is like a character,
Yeah.
but I thought I've seen a couple of American Dad episodes.
Never established.
Who the fuck is Reggie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Because
that a
if
person?
that is just a random character,
that kind of makes it funnier.
That
it
shit
makes it
was
so much funnier
funny.
because there's
He was
no
actually
reason
funny.
for her not to like him and be like, I don't like you. He's like, let me take you to a concert, and she's like, just so you know, I don't like.
I don't
you.
like you,
Why? What
Reggie.
is it established?
Yeah. Do they have beef?
Why do they have beef? But then
Why
she
do
wants to
Reggie-
fuck
It was
him.
enemies to lovers.
Yeah. But then
what-
Reggie ended up just being like
Chill.
a respectful dude who didn't want to like
Not like
be
the boys
disloyal
in the
to the
schoolyard.
girl that
Yeah,
he's
well,
been seeing.
Reggie was like, "Nah, I got a girl."
Yeah.
And then Haley
Shows
flashes him, and
her
it's like,
tits.
"Well, if you want me, I'll be in my room with the door unlocked."
Yeah.
And he's like,
And this
"Damn,
happened.
girl, you know how to make it fishy." Or like, he,
yeah.
why
he's
is Reggie
definitely
black?
Yeah, he was
weird.
also.
No, yeah. He was like obviously black, like cartoonishly black, like the like, oh yeah, like I'm a smoke a joint kind of.
Which
like,
I don't
Yeah.
like. 99% of the time, I don't think it's funny.
It's a
The
koala.
fact that he was a koala, though,
Yeah, that made it fun.
really was
And
like
his
fucking
big ass R chain, that
For
big ass
R for
chain.
Reggie.
Yeah,
I don't. And then when
he was funny. He had some good lines. though.
Okay, is there anything we want to add about this episode? Because this episode was so linear. There really
Yeah.
wasn't much going on.
No.
It was hard.
But when he fucked, hold on. The one line that I liked that Roger is kind of like sexually promiscuous and really casual about it. When
Yeah.
he was like, he went to this. He went to go meet the other hockey players to prove to Stan that he was actually part of the team, and he gets a +1 to this convention. There's a woman at the front of the convention. She's like, "Why am I never your +1?" And he goes, "'Cause you're fat, Cheryl," or something like that. And I thought that line was funny just because I just thought that was so funny. It's 'cause you're fat. Because it's so honest.
Yeah, it's just
and
like,
we've all thought that before, like, huh? No. As I was saying, but then he, I like that.
Evil Caroline.
And then, but then later he like sleeps with her, and he's like, "You always get what you want,
oh,
Cheryl."
yeah,
I thought that was funny.
interesting.
I think a lot of Roger's line deliveries, is that Seth MacFarlane too?
I don't know.
Seth MacFarlane plays a lot of these.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
got
wanted
some
to have a
range.
character where
He
he could have
really
a gay
does.
voice. That's what it feels like Roger is.
I'm gonna table that. I think for the multiverse episode, and I'm not gonna say anything further, but just him, that whole episode was him talking to himself, and I was just like, oh, that's
Wait, in what?
Stewie and Brian.
Oh, yeah,
like, it was just him
it's just
fucking
Seth
talking to
MacFarlane
himself. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah,
You do
yeah.
that though, like really well.
but
You do that.
but he was goated with, like, it was like I'm listening to two people talk.
Yeah.
It's just him in the booth, like, doing this, like, at least I'm not drinking, Brian, and I'm Stewie, and I'm a penis, or I'm I don't know why I keep saying.
I only had 2.
I had a lot for this one.
Really?
I don't know why I thought this. I think it was so late that I was just giggling.
Really? I only had 2 for this one. There was
Did you watch it alone or with someone else?
I kind of watched it. Yeah, I watched it alone.
Okay.
I liked it when Reggie says she hate me like deserts hate the rain.
I thought that was so stupid. I hated that. I was like, who wrote that? Why'd they leave it in?
I like that one. And I liked when because at the end when they go to return the medal, like they throw it in the fire, but it turns out the fire's fake.
It's fake
right?
with like paper.
Yeah, with paper, and then after that, it's like, oh yeah, something about Ronald Reagan knew there were steroids, and that's why we have this like Ronald Reagan hot tub, and then
Memorial
it cuts
hot tub.
to memorial hot tub, and it cuts to these guys like, get your asses in this hot tub right now. And I don't know why I thought that was hilarious.
But also the guy going like, oh, we got to return this ring. He's on steroids. We don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had 16.
Damn.
Wow.
I thought at 0111, the Fish and the Family Guy merch, that just made, I don't know. I actually don't even know what he said.
Yeah. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the point. He said, he's like, can I go to school? Like, if anyone wants a school bus, something about school bus.
So in my head, this is what happened. I watched, because it's like 4 a.m. right now. I watched the Fishes in the Family Guy merch, and he's like, I bet you end up brush it on. And I'm like, what? I started laughing. and then I think Stan goes like, no. I'm like, what? At 0340, Reggie. So, and I add +4 laughs just because of the entire situation. Because I kept laughing because I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why is there another Roger, but he's a koala? I guess I'm a dog, I think. At 0645, Stan going Lego Man, but then his son being like, you're mispronouncing that on purpose.
That's
Oh,
real.
I know you're mispronouncing that
That's
on purpose.
so
And he
real.
goes, ooh, I'm mad. I'm mad. As he slowly backs out. 073, I just wrote, why is the koala still here? At 015, Stan putting Francine in the bathtub because he was talking to Roger. As he's talking to Roger, he's like, I just love what you're doing, Roger. It's just really awesome, and this is really cool, and this is really fun.
She just
For
like
the-
while she's getting
She was like
picked up and
eating or
taken-
something.
Yeah,
For the audio listeners, just didn't Stan. At 0826, Stan finding out Roger was taking steroids when he played hockey. He turns the lights on. So Stan is like, yeah, this is so awesome. And Roger's like, and I was taking steroids. Stan's like, what? Turns the light on, and
he's
Roger's
wearing,
in a
like-
dominatrix suit with like a
with
whip.
like a whip and like a gag.
And Stan is like,
Ball.
what? 0843, when Royd raged, Roger's like, I'll kill your mother. I thought that was a good line delivery. 12 minutes. The sound of the airplane just exploding as Roger chainsaws the wing. I think I was delirious. I was like, we have to use that sound effect for the video. Because it was like, it was funny. At 1312, I'm trying to give up soda. I don't remember. I'm trying to give up
I don't
soda.
remember that either.
I don't remember. Why
That sounds
was
like something
funny.
Roger would say, though. I'm
Oh,
trying to give up soda.
At 1344, when the koala beat up that like frat bro,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
in the ground, like his face is like in the ground,
Yeah.
he goes, I'm sorry. And then he pulls his face up and he's like, I'm sorry. That was funny.
For the audio listener.
At 14:45,
Sammy could
they're
use some
telling
blue chews.
Stan that, or they're telling Roger that Stan's hair looks bad. No, Stan is telling Roger that his hair looks bad. Stan's like, well, your hair looks bad. And then Roger goes, well, fuck you. That was it for my acknowledgments for that episode for Return of the Bling.
Thank you, Sammy. And thank you,
My earache
and
is
thank
so
you-
bad that hurt.
And thank you, everybody, for watching Hypothetical Nonsense.
part one.
Part one.
Part one,
We might be
'cause
back.
we have
but
to
also, it's an
discuss.
hour. So should we?
have to discuss
Yeah, we can
the
keep-
best episode
we should keep
American
going. We shouldn't
Dad
split.
and
We're gonna keep.
Family Guy.
We're gonna keep going, but we gotta go for a photo shoot.
And then we'll be back
Look
after
at some of
the
our
Jiffy.
photos.
This the same episode. But
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the same episode. We just decided to change
To
clothing.
change clothes.
we changed
yeah.
clothes, and
Peed,
also we had to
showered.
pee, shower, brush our teeth.
Mhm.
Today's
take a
also a
bath.
holiday, and it wasn't a holiday when we were recording it before.
I shaved.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, as we were saying.
Where did we leave off? We left off on the random episode
Of American
of American Dad.
Dad.
And we gave that one. We did our
T-Love.
what we did is we did our acknowledgments. Yes. We
Yeah.
did our
acknowledge-
acknowledgments.
And you were watching that episode about like 4 a.m, so you were rather delirious. You had 16 instances of laughing.
I still am a chuckler.
I
love
to
a
hear
good
it.
chuckle. I'm not gonna sit watching a comedy with my arms crossed like
Yeah.
this. I'm not gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna give a giggle if it's a giving me a
Yeah.
giggle.
I can't
Right.
laugh anymore. I like after years of
The
just
incident.
living, I just
Yeah.
stopped laughing out loud, which kind of sucks.
There's not much funny.
No, it is
In
so
your heart.
funny. It's so funny. It's just to get me to physically feel joy. It's like a Sisyphusian task.
Even that.
Task.
Wow. That gray heart of yours.
I'm improving. My heart is warming.
Yeah.
See?
And look at that.
That was
See?
awesome.
That shit was so
Sammy,
easy.
that was so good.
so cold, right?
Oh my god. He's gonna win an award one day. Funniest man alive. Really? Oh my
The
god.
Sammys.
Did you see his face? Guys, did you see it? Oh,
You can't even do
Let's
that because
move on
you
to-
laughed. You did a little giggle, didn't you?
no, it was funny. It was funny. I love Sammy, you make me laugh.
Oh, that's so nice.
Nothing
Caroline,
makes
you
me
make me
as him.
laugh.
Shut up.
Look at bro trying to be a part of the clan.
Glazing. As I come to understand the term.
Come to understand? Ew!
Gross.
Guys, we're on fire this second
Oh, and then
half of
let's
the
puke.
podcast.
Wait, let's puke at the same like projectile puke. Speaking of puke, Family Guy. The random episode of Family Guy.
Yes.
Single white dad.
Single white.
What are our
dad.
thoughts? What do we think? But before we do that, let's get back to the episode. Well, let's synopsize the episode.
I'll sum things up for us real quickly.
Thanks, Will. This should be quick.
You read my mind exactly the way I thought that in my head. It should be quick. Go ahead. I love you,
Oh,
Will.
we should speed right
No,
through
I
this
love
one.
I love Will. Go.
Peter Griffin.
And time starts now.
So Peter Griffin as a father.
Wait. I'm actually gonna time this.
No.
Okay.
This
No.
is
This is tough
terrible.
because I'm actually I'm trying to think
Okay,
about it as I'm speaking.
Lois had surgery.
No.
Wait, give it to Will. Give it to Will.
Give me a fucking chance, Caroline.
I love you, Will.
So Caroline, love you too. Caroline, so Caroline's foot got jammed.
Caroline?
Sorry, Louis. Louis. So Louis. No. Chris and Pete. No. Stop. Okay, time starts. Ready
Now. Yes.
Chris and Peter, and I think Stewie was there. Might have been there too. Decided to play Donkey Kong in real life, and that
real
shit
life.
was lit.
No, Stewie was there. Stewie
Yeah,
was there.
okay. And Peter and Chris were fucking around and then accidentally dropped a barrel and it hit Louis.
Louis, yeah.
In the foot.
It
and
hit Lumbus.
totally fucked her shit up.
Uh-huh.
She was bedridden for like a week and she's like, Peter, like, I can't take care of the kids. I don't know what accent that is. And
Louisian.
and so Peter was like, okay, I'm gonna be the single father for this week, right? And he goes to the park and he realizes that like because he's a dad, everyone loves single dad. They're like, oh, single dad.
Yeah.
And so he was getting a bunch of free shit. He got extra whipped cream or something
on
his
frappuccino.
Which was free.
Yeah.
Oh, which was free.
And just so you know, the barista was played by Aaron from Better Call Saul. Not important. Just wanted to point it out.
Got
Continue.
it. Subtract 5 seconds from my time.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for wasting
so-
his time. I'm gonna give you actually -10.
Thank you very much.
there you go.
So
Sorry.
then Peter went to the park and some woman was there who was also a single mother and was obviously like flirting with him, but Peter, being the oblivious buffoon that he is.
Baboon.
You
So
heard
you
that
heard
too.
what I said. That. What the fuck?
She knew it was coming. You acted so quick. Anyway, so then he's trying to flirt back. No, he's not trying to
He
flirt back
doesn't.
because he has
He
a
wants
wife.
popcorn.
So he goes back to her place and then
The pet cloud
that,
thing.
okay,
made
we'll
me
talk about
lose
that
my
later.
shit.
That was
Okay,
fucking
continue.
hilarious. But then he wants popcorn. But then she's like, she kisses him and he's like, what the fuck? And then also Joe makes some jokes at the bar too, at the clammy oyster or whatever.
Essentially.
And then
Why don't you
Quagmire
fuck
says
her?
some shit too, and then eventually, he's has her over for dinner, and is trying to hide the fact that he has a wife because he said that his
She was
wife
dead.
is dead.
Yeah.
He said that his wife is dead. So then they're having dinner, and then Lewis keeps trying to come downstairs, and Peter's like, no, don't come downstairs. And then they eventually meet, and then everything ends up fine. And then because they went to Fenghua Resort.
What? No.
they didn't. No, they didn't.
Oh.
They did
Stop
go to
his time
Fenghua
because he
Resort.
stopped. I just need to clarify.
Was that good enough of a
We need to
synopsis?
clarify. To clarify, Peter meets another single mother in the park, and they bond over being single parents. He tells this woman that his wife is dead. Now, he comes over to this single mother's house for a play date between Stewie and her son, and she...
Well, that is hell for the audio listeners.
Oh, I'm sorry.
she...
Actually, fuck y'all.
No,
Or wait,
no.
no, I love
We
y'all,
love
love
the
y'all.
audio listeners.
Sorry. Welcome back to the
Okay,
ASMR podcast.
You know that's going to be the thumbnail. I'm going to have it like animated.
And then we beatbox.
Okay, so she thinks that it's a sexual encounter, and Peter is oblivious to this, and he just wants to get popcorn from her. And so when
a plane?
oh no,
It's coming towards me!
Mr. President,
My leg! Leap Jinx, fuck you.
Precious.
Wait, Schmeagle, the return of the bling. You're about to die between steroids.
okay,
I'll kill your mother!
So there's a part of this where Peter goes to the single mother's house, and she is a skylight, and he's like, what is that? Is that a pet cloud?
How long have you had a pet cloud for?
And she's
She's
like, are
like,
you talking
"It's a
about the skylight?
skylight."
And he's like, oh.
But
yeah.
this bit continues because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just sort of like, oh, your pet's getting
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, the window?
Maybe he'll be back.
It's just so
It's funny because
wonderful.
I didn't laugh at that.
I laughed at
I didn't
that.
mark that one.
marked
That's so
that one.
interesting. I was like, Sammy probably thought that was funny.
No, so
I love that one.
I parked that one.
you parked that one.
Yeah.
You know what You know what it means to park in the Mormon definition?
What?
I'll leave that up to you guys.
Is it the same as soaking? Do you park in order to soak?
Soaking,
Yeah.
and then what's the one where there's the person that
kinda
moves the
lit.
bed?
That's soaking.
No. Soaking is when you just sit there. But to move the bed, there's another term for it, I believe. Mormons in the chat?
Jelking?
No, choking is when you stretch the skin.
Jenkum?
Okay.
Jubilation?
So, okay, I think that to get through this episode, we
Yeah,
should
besides.
start with our with the mentions, the honorable. What made you laugh? Because this is just a random episode, right?
Yeah, this is the random
Which was
episode.
superior
What
to
do we
the
think
American
about
Dad
the
episode.
story? What do
Yeah,
we think?
what did we think about just this episode in general?
Are we comparing it to the American Dad same episode? Have we been doing that?
Well, we're gonna do that. Let's do that at the
okay,
end.
okay,
So let's just judge them on their own merit, their own
Okay.
fungwa.
okay. There.
Did we like the episode? Did we not like it? What are we thinking?
I did. I feel like Family Guy had a couple awkward seasons and just like trying to understand, I don't know, modern audiences. And I don't know, something about this episode made me feel like whoever's writing the show is like way more comfortable. Like the bit where Bonnie is like, "Can I have your laundry machine?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know." Just stuff like that where it just felt really I don't know, improvised. There's something about it. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot, and it made me realize that like Family Guy is still, it's not a great show, but it's not bad. It's not cringeworthy.
I love it. I think that it would like the episode. It made sense. Like the story made sense. Like yeah, of course. Like like he's a single dad. Like it's not like it leans into the family dynamic without being like too like absurd, but has like absurd elements separately to it.
Yeah,
that are funny for bits and such.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought overall, I thought it was a good episode. I laughed a few times. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a fun one. I think the commentary was silly. It was like a silly, like, you know, it's a single white dad. When dads are single dads, like they get praised. When a mom's a single mom, she's like, get your stupid ass out of here.
Yeah.
Like it was a silly episode. I thought it was okay.
I'm surprised they didn't do it before. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, of course, like it makes sense. Like why wouldn't it's Family Guy? Why wouldn't they have like single white dad?
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna go to the mentions of the honorables.
Oh, the mentions of the honorables. Let's go.
I think I was gonna say one more thing.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Oh, I got an email. Hold on.
You know who keeps emailing me? Joe Biden HQ. I don't know.
Joe Biden HQ.
Yeah.
His headquarters.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Caroline.
No.
I'm trying to tell you something, but you won't listen.
Literally, I get sent probably 4 emails a day. They're trying to get me to vote. Hey, I just want to put this out there to anyone that's managing that campaign. Do you know how you don't get someone under the age of 35 to vote? Sending 4 emails every single fucking day. I will vote because I'm a...
Especially like, hey, Joe here. We know it's not you.
It's exactly, guys. We need your help. We need your. It's like the advertisements. Like your clan is destroyed. I'm like, shut up.
And what clan are you referring to?
Clash of Clans.
So Caroline is talking about the clan. We gotta revoke her from the email list.
Take me off your fucking email list. God,
you can also unsubscribe though. There's
no,
a button
I
there.
at this point it bothers me so much that I find it funny. Every time I get an email, I'm like, damn, this is the 5th email today.
It's like when Meg in Family Guy was really good at basketball when but only when his
So
dad-
here's what I thought was funny from this episode.
Thank you.
Jill
and I are so excited to invite
Who's
you.
Jill and I?
Jill is his wife.
Would you like to come for dinner?
We don't talk about it, but he had another wife beforehand.
Jenkum? So at 03:54, the pan breaking when he cracks the egg. I was like, what the fuck? I think I audibly said, Brian, I was like, what the fuck? Because he didn't mention it.
Yeah.
He cracks the egg, the pan shatters, and he's like, ow.
I get that. I get it. It was like, oh, he can't make breakfast. He's sucks so bad.
Incompetent. He's such a baboon that he can't make eggs. The fucking pan breaks.
That's what he gives up. He was like, all right,
cool. At 04:04, Stewie's wearing Brian's skin.
Yeah, that was so weird. I dressed them for school. That was so awesome.
I was like, got Stewie and Brian changed.
Because Brian is shaking. He's like,
that is some. I feel like that had to be a younger writer who got invited to the writers' room. And they were like, "What if we just put their skin on each other?"
We have to explain these jokes because I feel like we've been saying just enough so that we understand it.
Yeah.
So from the at the beginning, we should explain the pan joke. The pan joke is basically that Peter is tasked to feed the kids.
Yeah.
So he's trying to make eggs. When he cracks the egg doesn't break. The fucking cast iron skillet shatters, and he goes, "Okay, I fucking give up." At 04:04, Peter's like, "All right, I gotta get the kids dressed." So it's like, Peter, I got Stewie.
Got Stewie and Brian changed.
Yeah, they've got to get them changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he takes changed literally.
Yeah.
And changes their skin.
Have you ever heard of Amelia Bedelia?
So Brian is
Stewie's
fucking
skin.
naked, and Stewie's wearing Brian's fucking skin.
It's so
And
funny.
they're shaking.
It's a
They're shaking, they're like,
disgusting
"Oh, God."
visual. There's a little bit of blood too. It's awesome.
Okay, at 04:30, when Peter's passing out everyone's lunches, I think Stewie gets some bullshit lunch, or someone has a grenade in their lunch.
Yeah, there's a
and then Peter's
Yeah, that
like,
was so funny. What?
Oh, it's Meg. Meg has the grenade, and Meg's like, "There's a grenade in here," and Peter's like, "Use it to get a better lunch."
Yeah.
At 04:57, when Peter's bringing all this shit into the coffee shop because he's just like, it's his off day, like he's trying to take Stewie just around the town, and he goes to a coffee shop. Peter has like a a stroller, a bear, like a bunch of shit. He's lugging it in like you see a mom like bringing shit in. He's like, I don't know what I was supposed to bring in. He just brought everything. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
At 07:44, Lois's legs are hairy because Brian's trying to sleep with her.
I forgot about that
interesting.
whole thing where Brian is trying to sleep with Lois.
Brian,
it's cool that they kept that in even to this season.
Brian has done that a couple of times, trying to sleep with Lois.
No, that's a thing. That was his thing.
Character.
But it's just crazy that even what season is this? 21st season that they are doing this into this late into the show.
At 11:42, this is funny. Lois is asking Chris to get her something from the drawers. Oh, and the top drawer is filled with sex toys. She's like, try the middle one. He's like, is this a bit? Because this drawer is also filled to the brim with sex toys. And she's like, oh, sorry, try the third one. He's like, ah!
The performance on that was really good. That was really well written.
The delivery of is this a bit? Is this a bit? Because this drawer is also filled to the brim with sex toys.
It's awesome.
At 15:10, I have your boner and butt pills from Gladiator.
I love that. It's supposed to be discreet.
The boner and butt pills. What the fuck are butt
what
pills?
Do the butt pills do?
It loosens it up.
Loosen it up. But
loosens
do pills
his butthole?
Do that, or isn't that? Oh, what's the thing you sniff? Poppers.
I've got your boner and butt pills from Gladiator. Because the joke is that I got your package from Gladiator. Like, this doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But him being like, I've got your boner and butt pills. It's like, no. At 17:40, when Peter is... So what happens is Peter...
This is fucking crazy.
Insane. Explain to the audio listeners what just happened.
We
Santiago has the new Ray-Ban sunglasses.
Spy glasses.
Mm-hmm. What? That take pictures and have camera, and apparently it also plays sounds.
It was playing out of my ears.
What?
Yes. Like the speakers are in the back of the glasses, like where it's over your ears. So Family Guy was just playing out in my ears, in the fucking my ears. Put them on.
Oink. This one is funny.
Yeah, wait, we can't talk about it. We can't talk.
Oink. Oh my god.
Okay, take.
That's scary.
Just, I love
awesome.
how we always find creative ways to play Family Guy clips. We did it through a pair of glasses. We're just fucking with the producers now.
Okay. At 17:40, when Peter's sneaking out of the house to try to get Lois back upstairs.
Yeah.
We explained that in the synopsis.
Yes.
Yeah.
A rat comes out and tells Peter, if you hold this feather, you can fly. Peter grabs the feather and fucking falls. He's like, that's what you get for something.
Yeah.
I was like, and then he disappears.
Or for locking your trash, your dumpster.
Yeah, so he can't get in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. But he's wearing like a marching band outfit.
It's just so classic, just the way he just falls off the roof and just eats shit.
And at 18...
Put your damn phone away.
At 18 minutes,
it is?
Peter falls into the stereo.
I need to look at it, though.
So that was... I got 9 laughs from that episode.
I liked the... I'd like to acknowledge the orchid CPS bit. Like where he said like I couldn't even have an orchid or something.
Yeah,
and
we couldn't
like
have those kids.
Yeah, the CPS like came and like took his like orchid plant because he wasn't treating it right, and then the CPS guy started crying about like this monster like didn't even put it in the sun for enough time, like some bullshit like that.
I couldn't. Why is it that they get to have orchids but me and Julia can't have orchids?
Him and his wife weren't able to have an orchid.
This I thought was funny. He's like, okay, so why don't you come over to one detective, the other guy. Yeah. Why don't you come over to my place and we can all talk about this with my wife and kids? He's like, oh, do you want me to bring anything? Oh, just the drinks and the food.
Snacks.
And he's like, that's everything.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like everything.
That just sounds like everything.
Yeah.
Oh, just bring the drinks and the snacks.
I love that we're just explaining Family Guy jokes. What are we doing?
This is my favorite episode so far, I think. I actually think this is my favorite.
I love doing shit like this. For context, I've done this on my own because I was so so fuming. I saw a tweet that was like, American Dad is like leaps and bounds better than Family Guy, and it's a bunch of people circle jerking each other like, yeah, you guys have seen
It's
2 episodes of fucking American Dad. Go fuck yourself. And they trust that other people haven't seen enough, but they're like, oh yeah, I agree with this as well. First, it's like, oh, I hate you guys. So I did this, but
this is important.
This is very important. And then, sorry. And then, yeah, I put the Peter cracking an egg bit. That shit was fucking hilarious. Got Stewie and Brian changed. At one point, they're in the the bar, like all the boys are in the bar, and Joe calls Stewie Kirby.
It was a Kirby.
And then
What's up, Kirby?
But the payoff of that joke, he's wearing glasses, and they're like, "Why are you wearing glasses?" I'm Kirby Bing Bong, and it's like, who the fuck is that? He's like, "You guys don't know."
It's like, looks like a Kirby.
I want to see the writers' room. I want to see the Family Guy writers' room. I just want to see like the age demographic, who's writing for that show, and like how they get it done. They're like, how do we get Peter to fall from this? Like, how do we get him from point A to point B?
Get the rat feather.
Get the rat feather.
What I think I admire about Family Guy is that they don't give a fuck if you get it. I love that. Like that Kirby joke is something I wasn't getting. It's like a reference.
It is.
It has to be.
I think it's funnier if it isn't.
I don't know if it's a reference.
It doesn't seem like a reference
because Joe says a name of like,
oh, I'm Kirby Manson.
Yeah, and it's like that's a reference to something in the multiverse episode.
But it still doesn't make any more sense. I feel like if it's like a real person, because it's just still like, why are you Kirby? You're just wearing glasses.
Yeah, but that I like the thing I like about all of that is that it's funny to us, but it's also funny to the writers in a completely different way.
Yeah,
it's like they don't give a fuck if you get it. It's like I'm just putting this in the show.
We should write an episode of Family Guy and then perform it.
Like we should do that live on stage.
Yeah,
the Family Guy play,
real Family
Guy play
episode.
But continue. Sorry, the Kirby episode.
Got Kirby that, show. And the only other one I wrote was how long have you had a pet cloud?
Yeah,
so good. So
I have 5 for this one.
Awesome.
Okay. Should we flip? I think we should flip to American Dad.
I think we should
for
too,
the best
but
episode.
Caroline, I don't know if you
did. You mark anything?
Did you have any acknowledgments?
No, I think the only thing that I remember from that episode was that Aaron from Better Call Saul played the barista, which is important to know. And then also the pet cloud bit. I love that one. Yeah. Because it just was so. It's so like. Someone had to do drugs for a very, very long time to get a career as a writer and then just be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Just so awesome. I don't know that for a fact. I think it's just funny.
We can shift to Feng Hua's show.
No.
Yeah.
Rapture's Delight.
This is prior to Feng Hua's acquisition of the show.
Oh, yeah. You're right. This is still own
American
Family Guy.
Dad.
Yeah.
So I'll do the
American Pie,
synopsis of this episode. Okay. It is Christmas Day. Stan and his family are getting in a car and driving to church. And Stan is kind of freaking the fuck out because his wife Francine dressed like a whore, apparently. And he didn't like that. He's very upset. He's like, guys, you're not appreciating Christianity. You're not appreciating Christmas. When the rapture comes, all of you are going to be here stuck on earth and I will be raptured. And basically they go to church. And Francine lures Stan into a closet, and they do a really terrible joke about the janitor having a developmental and intellectual disability.
Yeah.
That was super cool, guys.
Yeah.
Nice. And Francine seduces him, and during Christmas Mass they have sex in the church. Then, when they're done having sex, they go back out into the church, and they see that everyone's clothing is there, but everyone else is missing. And it occurs to Stan that the rapture has happened, and he was not raptured the way that he thought he would be because they were having sex in the church. Now, Stan gets very mad at Francine. He's like, you bitch, you whore, essentially. Really cool. Love the writing. He's like, the reason why I wasn't raptured is because you made me have sex in this church. You're the reason why I'm a sinner, and this sucks. And then it's such a weird premise. Basically, Francine is like, fuck you. I don't want to be with you anyway. And she goes to a coffee shop and meets a really nice guy, a new nice guy. and then that new nice guy turns out to be Jesus. Do we have to
Jesus
talk
Christ,
about
yeah.
the whole section where he has apparently gay sex with a guy that's pretending to be Jesus?
Yeah, well,
We could bring that up. Just finish this.
yeah, get the beat, the
I'll
actual
just get
important beats of it.
yeah, okay. So basically Francine is actually dating the real Jesus. And the apocalypse is occurring, and we have a jump cut a few years later to an Earth that is in shambles, and because now Jesus is fighting the
Antichrist.
demons,
Well,
Antichrist.
Once the rapture begins, Jesus has risen to fight the Antichrist.
Right. And Stan is kind of a badass. Like during the apocalypse, everyone knows that he's the guy that you go to if you need to get shit done. And apparently, Francine is taken away from Jesus she's kidnapped by the Antichrist, because the Antichrist knows that's the one thing that Jesus cares about, and he goes to Stan, the only man that can help him get his wife back. And they visit the Antichrist. And the Antichrist as a character is the opposite of Jesus, which I think is kind of cute. It's a cute idea.
No, not the opposite of Jesus. Literally the opposite of Jesus.
Yeah.
I think his whole like outfit's like question marks.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. He, instead of walking on water, he puts him in I don't know.
Yeah,
It was
we'll
so
get
stupid.
to that. We'll get to the small parts. But
yeah, basically, yeah. So Stan it sacrifices himself. He's selfless for Francine to save him to Jesus, and then he ends up going to heaven. He's raptured after that. Jesus, in exchange for whatever the fuck, he gets to be raptured, and then the episode ends with him going to his own personal heaven, which is really just his old life.
Mm-hmm.
and on Christmas.
On Christmas, where Francine is basically, the joke is she's like, "Do you like what I'm wearing, Stan?" And he's like, "You look like a." It looks very nice, Francine.
Mm.
And he learned his lesson.
I just want to say that took longer than my explanation.
No, it certainly
so fuck
did.
you guys.
No, you're
for being
so
like,
right.
oh, this should be quick. This should be fucking quick.
You're so right.
Then what happened?
As I was
right,
giving my
Will.
synopsis, I was like, wow, I'm doing this so much longer and more boring than the way that Will did it, and I kind of feel bad about myself. And I'm sorry, Will. And I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
But I just needed to point that out for my own self.
I'm glad that you did.
So we're gonna subtract 30 seconds from Caroline.
Thanks.
But
And
I
guess
only
who did it
talked for
faster?
12 seconds.
Caroline
No,
did it faster.
no.
Thanks. I did do it.
Can we get a second review?
It's not about faster. It's about conciseness. It's about clarity. I feel like everyone understands the point of this episode. It's an apocalypse episode. It's a rapture episode. It's a Stan learns his lesson not to disrespect his wife episode. This is such a funny bit that
I was just tickling him for about audio listeners.
gooch tickling.
No, I've been doing that under the table a couple times.
Stop touching my leg.
My leg.
Your arm is really long.
Damn,
Got pissed all over your hand.
BFT joy. I looked through the comments of that episode. I was glad that everyone resonated with the joy.
People like the joy.
That was awesome.
Like that it went on for
Glad-
way too long.
I'm glad you guys got the creeps to the podcast. Thank you.
The
guys.
creeps!
Those
Thank you,
are our fans. Those are our listeners. Guys, I don't think you're a creep. I enjoy
I don't think you're a creep.
joy.
I think you can enjoy different things sexually without being a creep, such as jerk off instructions.
Gotcha.
But you doing the band kid jerk off instructions was awesome.
That's
Anyway.
a social clip that I just pulled that I'm
I'm
going to post today.
glad. I'm so glad. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. I
Sammy.
was surprised that this episode of American Dad.
That's my Sammy impression. Sammy J.
I'm surprised that this episode of American Dad is the highest rated one, because I didn't think it was that good. The pacing was still bad. The jokes weren't funny, and it was just like it was just sort of a throwaway episode to me. That's what it felt like.
It did feel like, yeah. It was too, like, the premise was a little just kind of fell flat for me, along with the jokes. It was both the story and the jokes that didn't really pull me in at any point. But
Yeah,
Sammy, do
I
you have
was
any?
confused. I was seeing if I maybe fucked up. Like maybe that wasn't the highest one, but it is.
yeah,
I didn't think it was the worst episode in the world. I didn't think it
No.
was I didn't think it was the funniest episode.
no,
in
I
the
like
three that we
I like
watched
the
for American
I like the
Dad.
random American Dad episode more.
Yeah,
than,
me too.
Than this one.
I don't.
Oopsie
This one
daisy.
had the lowest laughs, I think, but
Me too.
I think this episode, I guess, wasn't trying to be funny. It seemed like
That's
it was
what I
trying
was-
to be cool.
That's why I was thinking. I was
Sweet.
like, yeah.
It
Yeah.
was trying to be sweet and
I
wholesome.
did like the ending. I liked how the ending was like, oh, like your heaven is just you with your family.
Yeah, I thought that was sweet.
that's like a cute, like, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to satirize like devout Christians. That's kind of what it felt like. Like, given what American Dad is, it's supposed to be like political. I'm sure that was the catalyst for it. It's like, isn't it crazy how Christians
Well, I think they were satirizing Christians like him who
exactly
are not even
sorry, devout Christian. I meant like what's the word?
Like,
hypocritical.
Yeah. I don't think because he wasn't he was like,
not devout.
Go to church and wear some stuff and let's have sex in the closet.
That was
like,
my fault. Yeah.
It was mostly the joke was mostly on him.
Yeah.
And people like him.
Yeah.
And then at the end it was like, well, maybe I'm a dumbass. Maybe I'm stupid. And I just thought the episode was just okay.
Yeah.
It was fine, I guess.
I love your t-shirt.
There were that one was the first one that I watched, and a lot of the jokes seem like they're trying to do what. Actually, I won't compare it to Family Guy, but a lot of the jokes just seem like that. Yeah, they were trying to like do what Family Guy does with their like randomness of their jokes, but it was just like it's like like I wrote down a couple jokes that I was like that I thought like saying that I'm the Christian that drives by Hebrew schools baptizing kids with a super soaker filled with garlic water.
That sucked.
Yeah, I was confused.
I thought that was like, it was just like, you're doing too much.
It was
in my
too
head.
much.
I was like, you're just doing too much.
Yeah.
And like that, I was focusing on the dolls that the janitor made out of Windex bottles and rat fur.
What? And we didn't get to see it.
No, and I was like, okay, like I get it. They're trying to like be complex and random with their jokes and like, but like I didn't think it was like funny.
Yeah.
This episode didn't really give me a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
There were some things, a lot of what I wrote down was more acknowledgments.
I let out a heavy breath twice.
Yeah.
That was my, I acknowledged when the unicorn was farting hamburgers.
I thought that was too obvious a joke. I actually hated that joke. I was just like, oh, of course it's a naked woman.
No, but then the joke was he eats the burger.
Pepper
and he's
jack.
Like, pepper jack cheese.
This is my heaven.
Yeah. And then I let out a chuckle when he found out that it's not actually Jesus, and he just told him to take the clothes off. That one was. What'd you say? Nothing. Jinx. Double jinx. Nope.
Double leap jinx.
Wait, it is a leap jinx. Huh.
Yes.
Fuck.
I won twice.
I forgot about leap jinx. I let out a chuckle at the Antichrist, like filling with sand and the glass broke. But I was also very generous with my like acknowledgments this episode because I just wanted to find something because I honestly didn't find any of the jokes that funny.
Yeah.
Personally.
So I had a couple. I think there's only two there's one actually that I laughed at. The pepper jack cheese was an acknowledgement because I knew something was being misdirected. Like the unicorn farts out the hamburgers, then he eats the hamburger.
Yeah.
Like, pepper jack cheese.
Yeah.
This is my heaven.
Yeah.
Fuck the unicorns. Fuck the burgers. It's the cheese.
Yeah.
We'll go to Jesus and explain that there was a mistake. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny that he was just like, yeah, we'll just go to Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know he was going to actually go to Jesus. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're going to go to Jesus.
Yeah.
Then he did go to Jesus, which wasn't real Jesus.
Mhm.
There was a joke that I thought was funny. It wasn't funny, but it was funny because I assumed that this came out in like the 2010s.
I think it came out in 2009.
Okay, so very old joke. I like the joke where the newscaster is gay and he's sort of like he likes all. God doesn't hate gay. What was the joke?
God hates
bottoms
or bottoms.
Bottoms. It's bottom because sodomy. That was the joke, and I thought that was kind of clever.
His boyfriend did go to heaven
because he was a top, and I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of funny. All tops go to heaven. I thought that was kind of a funny joke. Sorry.
I missed that one.
I think Jesus being Will Forte was funny, or fake Jesus.
Yeah.
Stan Smith go to heaven. That was another.
Yeah, that was so corny.
I acknowledge that one.
Go to
I forgot
heaven.
to say that one.
Go to heaven.
Oh, when real Jesus came in and they were singing, he turned water into fine.
Like, what?
I missed that.
I missed that one too.
I think he comes out of the pool. He comes out of the pool and they're like, he turned water into fine.
Oh,
I was
shit.
like, that's
I was
fucking
confused
hilarious.
as to what was going on at that point because they did the Jesus bit where it's Will Forte, which by the way, love him. Did you see that there was going to be like Coyote versus Acme and it got canceled?
Yeah, they're still shopping that around.
I hope they
For
do because
$70
the idea that Will Forte and Coyote are going to be doing a courtroom bit,
Yeah.
hilarious idea.
I
Sorry.
like the line "Kneel before the Lord," punk. I didn't laugh, but I just like I thought if I was more awake, I would have laughed. Maybe I don't know.
The Antichrist?
Yeah, well, I don't remember who said that actually. Kneel before the Lord.
No,
punk?
no. I don't think that was the Antichrist. You haven't gotten there yet.
No.
Okay.
Oh, let's see if you can swim inland. And then he
Yeah.
pours the sand.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Him trying to do your father or whatever, the opposite of that. Your mother, something, something, something. And he's
Yeah.
like, do you guys get it? Like explaining the joke. I was like, that's kind of cute.
Because then after he did that, he's like, "You were a carpenter. I'm not handy at all." And then he skitters away. He's like, "Eep, beep, 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 beep." Yeah, this episode wasn't that funny. Let's move on. Fuck.
To the best episode, apparently, of Family Guy.
A Family Guy.
Which is really, it's just
Highest
a clever.
rated MDIB.
I'm Big ID with a
Dabba-dibba-
9.1.
doob
I
dabba-doobie.
can explain this
Babadook.
episode.
Babadook.
Got it. Yeah.
So
explain
it honestly, the beginning actually doesn't matter.
Yep.
Because Brian,
Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
and Stewie, Brian's like, "What's that device?" And Stewie's like, "It's my multiverse device."
Mhm.
Because he's going to. Oh yes, actually,
That's
Brian,
where-
I forgot
that's where he got
It
the
And my
pig.
time starts now.
Go.
The pig. So they're at like a convention or some
Carnival.
like carnival.
Yeah.
And Stewie's like, "Brian, look at my pig. It's a genetically modified pig because I'm so awesome." And Brian's like, "What the fuck?
Why does it
it's
have
a pig
fists?"
with big arms and fists." And he goes, "Oink." And
buff
Brian's
ass
like, "What
pig.
the fuck?" And he punches the pig. So cut back to the house where Brian's like, "Where'd you get that pig?" And Stewie's like, "Well, I got it from another dimension." So they go to
Heard
that
of the
dimension.
multiverse theory. Yeah, why don't you explain it?
Yeah, through the multiverse theory, there's like a bunch of different realities.
Realities, yeah.
Where
Don't finish the end of my sentence.
Don't finish the
Like-
don't say the last two
Oh,
words
yeah,
of my
yeah, yeah,
sentence
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Sorry, I was trying
like
to
you
do the
know
joke.
No, I
like you
wasn't
kind of knew
processing-
what I was saying.
that went on so long. Wait,
I
let's
love
do that.
that.
Let's do that one more time.
yeah.
So
Go
there's a bunch of different multiverses,
Multiverses,
and they
yeah.
go through. And then they go through the different sort of realities, and the technology is basically where they.
No, I'm following.
You're following.
No,
No,
you-
I understood. I
You
understood.
I thought you were gonna finish the joke.
You finish it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I thought.
Oh, should we start over?
Let's just start over.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
the multiverse theory.
The multiverse.
Oh yeah, the multiverse.
Don't act
theory.
like you fucking know what it is. Just saying that.
Don't
Repeating the
say.
last
Don't
word.
repeat. I think he said like, oh, I wish I
Don't
could.
repeat the last word of my sentence like you know what I'm fucking
Like
talking
you kind
about.
of. You had no idea what
like
I was
you
saying.
kind of are following what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. Like the last two words, like he's like, yeah, with the technological, the technological devices. And so he's like, don't do that.
Okay,
Don't
so
repeat the last
basically,
two
No,
words.
why are we?
Like,
How many times
He
are we
has a
gonna explain
remote.
this
He
joke?
has a remote
How many times are we gonna
that
explain
lets
this
them go
joke?
to other dimensions. That was my fault that we got
fault, yeah.
railroaded.
Railroad.
railroaded, yes, the railroad, yes.
Don't repeat
the words and
railroad
words
like
that
you kind of know what a
I'm
railroad
trying
So
to
they
is.
go.
They no idea what I'm
Basically,
talking about.
Stewie's like, let's go and look at other dimensions. It was
That's
really
pretty
good.
much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they look at other dimensions.
And time.
And there's
Mine
a
was
lot
30 seconds.
There's a lot of clever
It would have been 30 seconds.
dimensions that they go to. There's a lot of bits, and I feel like you're probably going to get to it in the acknowledgments. I think we should probably go through the acknowledgments to show why this episode is really good, because there's not a clear linear plot other than the fact that they're trying to get home, and it's hard for them to get home because they keep ending up in realities that are not their own. Stop making fun of me! That's good.
What? Oh, yeah, stop making
You
fun
sound
of
like
you,
a
yeah.
crazy person to the audio listeners right now.
Yeah, because I wasn't doing anything. Audio-wise, I wasn't doing shit.
I am crazy. I'm edging. Get
Editor,
real.
can you cut out both Sammy and my voices
don't,
for like a
no.
minute
Cut
of
it
the
right now,
podcast?
right now. Now.
Stop it. Don't do that. Please. Please don't do that. Especially because you did it so well. Like you got my words really well.
The best way to do this episode, because there really is no like storyline until the end, where they go to the dog dimension.
Yeah.
Like I know.
Where
That's
we.
what I said.
Sorry,
Sorry.
girl.
We could just acknowledge the different dimensions or
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
You interrupted me.
That I had said that what you said prior to
Before
what you said.
prior
I
to,
said
yeah.
kind of the same exact thing that you said, but it's good. We're helping the audio listeners.
Helping the
acclimate
audio listeners
to,
acclimate,
the
yeah.
conversation.
The
I'm
conversation,
sorry,
yeah.
Sammy. I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry,
that's,
Sammy.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't talk to me like you. Hi,
Sammy.
Sammy. Late jinx.
What is happening? This episode is sponsored by Better Help.
That's not fucking true. Stop fucking lying to the audio listeners. Fuck.
This
Episode is sponsored by Family Guy. Family Guy.
Peter, what
Please
are you doing?
sponsor us. If
Sponsoring
you're a
Family
brand
Guy.
and you made it this far, please sponsor us. Email bft@roosterteeth.com
Are
if you are
brands
looking
watching
for
these podcast episodes and they're like,
just scouting.
Finally.
Are you scouting? Any
Okay.
scouts out there?
Peter, what are you doing?
Should we? Okay. Is that what we say? So, what we should
the
have,
fuck?
if I knew what this episode was
fucking
about
dream,
before
right?
I watched it, we could have like marked every universe.
I remember them.
I remember most of them.
The first one was just a little more. It was like Christianity did not exist.
There were no
So,
dark ages.
There was no dark age of science. So
Science could
science
advance.
progressed at that like 100 or like
Someone
I forget
doesn't
how many
know
years.
how science worked.
Meg was super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meg
So
was gorgeous, but he was like, "Wait till you see Lois, you'll cream in your pants." Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Your dick is something about his dick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a little clever too. It was a little clever. Like
Was it something about a dog dick?
I don't remember, but
So
yeah.
Leap Jinx. So it started with the what the fuck?
No, continue.
It started with crack.
What the fuck?
It started with the parallel universe where Christianity doesn't exist. Then they go to the art exhibit.
Should we say any of the jokes or should we leave the jokes for later?
Yeah. Okay. So it starts. We could leave the jokes. Starts with the alternate dimension where Christianity doesn't exist, so science was able to progress. After that,
Wait, are you saying yes, no jokes?
no
or-
jokes. I think we could just go through the dimensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that dimension,
Was it the caveman?
like the Flintstones one.
Yeah. Or I feel like
Was
there's
it?
one in between. There's probably one in between, but I don't remember it.
Fuck. Because there was also ones where there was like two heads. Happy,
yeah,
sad.
yeah. Let's just go the ones that we remember because those
Yeah.
are the notable ones anyway. There was Caveman World
Uh-huh.
where
Rock sex.
let's do the jokes. We
Yeah,
should do
the
the
joke.
jokes.
I think the jokes because okay, we figured it out. Everybody, let's do the
That's
jokes.
what I said to begin with. Continue. It's what. Do you not remember? I said, let's do acknowledgments to get through this episode because there's no linear plot except for the ending. And then,
Caroline, I need you to know when I was explaining, you fucking interrupted me.
I know. I'm sorry.
We could. You know what? I'm
sorry.
gonna activate my fucking device,
I'm
and we're gonna
sorry.
go to another multiverse where hypothetical.
Mom and Dad are fighting.
I hate it when you guys fight.
Okay. So do an acknowledgement.
You interrupted me.
Sammy, that's the way the cookie crumbles. What? It's the way the cookie
I'm a
crumbles.
snot bubbler. I'm just telling you. I'm just letting you know. I'm a snot bubbler.
What is
If
happening?
I cry, snots
Do
are
the
gonna come
fucking
bubbling.
acknowledgements.
Snot bubbles out of your
Let's
nose.
start the show.
Oh fuck! This is like a 2-hour podcast.
Hello,
right now.
everyone. Welcome
is perfect.
to.
Okay.
The Joe Rogan
I like the
podcast.
caveman.
I'm Joe
There was a
Rogan.
caveman universe where they just said rock like before like half of the words. They're like, let's go have rock sex.
Rock, Peter.
Yes, Rock Lewis. Yeah,
Why
that's-
do you keep saying Lewis?
What is it?
Lois.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Say it
No,
again.
Lois.
Low.
Lois.
Lowe's. Better go to Lowe's.
Better go to Lowe's.
You're lying.
Lois.
You're doing this
You're
on
lying.
purpose.
It's Lois.
How do you
You're
say
doing
Lowe's?
this on purpose.
Lowe's.
Okay, so Lois.
Lois. I do accidentally say Lewis, but it's just because it's like such a minor like tweak.
No,
that
you
it's,
can
it's
hear
not a
it.
minor
It's not
twink.
because
Minor
Lewis.
twink? What are you talking about? So
Clip that.
Twink,
Clip that.
Lewis. Can you need to go to like do mouth exercises so you can get the
On that minor
pronunciation
twink.
correct.
Lewis is a
Lewis
boy's
is just
name.
a
Did
minor
Did you say
twink.
pronunciate or pronunciate? Dipchick.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know what's
Okay,
going on.
Lewis is a boy's name.
Lewis!
And no, and
Will, take a lap. Take a lap, Will.
Lewis is a boy's name and Lois is a woman's name. So the minor difference in the vowels is extremely important. Are you crying? Where's the
It's
stop
not even the
bubble?
vowels.
Where's the
It's the
stop bubble,
fucking
you liar?
spelling. He's saying it Lewis, Lewis, which is a minor twink, by the way. You fucking gyp ship. You shut the fuck up. So at
That's getting
so at
clipped.
one
Fuck. I'm taking my sweater off. Oh my god. Okay, we gotta get on track.
Peter, what are you doing?
I'm smoking dip chips.
Rock,
What the
Peter, what are you
Lewis?
doing? I'm smoking rock.
What the Lewis?
Okay, so
rock.
let's do acknowledgments.
Crack rock.
Okay.
Let's do acknowledgments.
We're good.
From the beginning. Timestamps. Let's go.
Okay. Give me a chance to talk. You guys shut up for like 30 seconds. Okay.
You're not a person. You're just
Okay,
30 seconds.
There's a caveman universe, and then I didn't like the Japanese universe because that was just like too obvious. It's like, oh, they're being racist. Okay, got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I like there was a universe where there were two heads, where one happy head, one sad head, and then the kind of the funny part of that is like it cut to Stewie and he was just making out with himself, like in the happy, or maybe there were other jokes too, but I
love
thought that
you.
was funny.
I'm trying to feel something.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
real.
Like, have you seen Stewie? I haven't seen him anywhere. Like, I thought that was funny. I liked, there was one where it was like a hell or like a post-apocalyptic kind of, and it was because like, Nixon became pregnant. No, Nixon became president, and
He was president.
but like 4 years earlier, right? Instead of JFK.
Yeah.
And JFK was never assassinated.
Yeah.
So Lee Harvey Oswald killed Mayor McCheese.
Yeah.
Mayor
Is that a
McCheese.
joke in bad taste?
I don't know.
No,
It's
it's
a
a cheeseburger. That's so funny because when I watched that clip, I was like, that's in poor taste.
Mayor McCheese.
Because no, you know why it's in poor taste? You know why it's in poor taste? Because they show the brains blowing out, and then Jackie starts eating the fucking cheeseburger, and I was like, "That's in fucking poor taste." And they immediately acknowledged it, and I was like, "Well, they acknowledged it, so it's okay."
I like how it cut to a universe with a bunch of fire hydrants. And Stewie was like, hate it, and Brian was like, love it. And then it cut to
Gay men.
a universe filled with gay men, and Brian was like, hate it, and Stewie was like, love it. And I thought that was funny. And the political cartoon joke universe, where it was just like a bunch of political cartoons.
He's holding a cloche that says like politics.
Yeah.
And then he has a baby. He's like, why am I naked? And Brian's like,
Oh, that's good.
That's good. That's good. And Stewie's like, you don't get it. And Brian's like, I do. I get it. It's good.
One of my favorite dynamics is Brian trying to be like very smart, and Stewie just being like, "Come on, man," because I'm Brian, because that's me.
Brian, I also like how Brian had a big sign that said liberal on it. What do you want from us?
Yeah, what did you want us to say? What did you want us to say to
this?
that?
There's
You're
not-
so close to the nay right now. She was inches from it.
Don't tempt me.
Do you want to see it? What do you think?
I want to
If you
see
had to
what that
vote-
looks like.
You wanna- well, let's take a Democratic
no,
vote.
I vote
Caroline
yes.
Nay.
No. You'll
All
have
in
to tune
favor
in.
say
no,
aye.
You'll have to tune in next week to see
You'll have to
Caroline
tune
do
in.
the nay.
No.
Next week, it's
You'll,
been like-
no. You'll have to tune in on first.
Wait.
You'll have to tune in on first. That's where Caroline's gonna do the nay on first, because if you want to support us, then
Who's paying $5 to see her nay?
I would pay $5 to see Caroline Nene if I was a fan and I really liked Best Friends Today.
What the fuck?
Okay, so let's continue.
Should I keep going?
Love you guys. Love that you all support
And
me and love
then
me as
the
well.
last universe is dogs are humans and humans are dogs, and there's a bunch of like.
Wait, there's more universes.
There's so
really?
many more-
There's robot chicken.
Oh, yes,
There's
yes.
so many.
You're so right.
And they
Yes.
shit on Seth Green.
You're so right.
Who's
You're
in the
so
show?
right.
by the
Yeah,
way.
that's because Chris.
Oh, they did that. They did that in the the who you can't handle the booth.
Yeah, where they
episode, too.
mentioned like, oh, that's your show. That's the other thing that you did. Because everybody else had like really had better accolades than Seth Green. Seth Green's voice has changed also, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. Chris sounds different
know who that
in
is.
later seasons.
Yeah, there was the robot chicken universe.
There was the Disney universe that
Yeah,
had a crazy ending.
We want to eat pie.
Yeah.
Pie.
It was so cute. That was such a beautiful like
No,
song and animation style.
I loved it because when I was a kid and I went to Disney World, I knew at a very young age about Walter Disney's dislike, his hatred for the Jews, and so whenever
Yeah.
I'd go to, we'd head up to Universal. It was
The
just sort of
joke
like-
was that they wanted to stay for a long time. They were like, "Wait, this is fucking awesome!
nothing wrong
There's
with
nothing
this."
wrong." And then like what's the character? Like a Jewish
Mort?
character of
no,
Yeah, his name was like like Frank Jewish. And
He's
it was-
in the Family
in
Guy
the-
universe.
yeah,
he's like a Family Guy character.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Who-
I don't know his
who-
name, but
Yeah.
he walks in, Star of David, everything.
Yeah,
and they
the
Jew!
caricature of it, like a Jewish person.
Yeah.
and then they just point him like they're like
But
Jew.
the
And then
animation was so funny because they all like it
they
was the most
beat the shit out of
yeah.
him.
No. The response to Jew, I just thought that was so
and
funny.
but then Brian's like, "Yeah, okay, let's go.
Let's go. Press the button.
Let's
Yeah.
go. We
Yeah.
have to go.
which is interesting. I have to say when I've watched a lot of Family Guy and they are lighter on the anti-Semitism. So it's
Which
just,
I would say is a great thing.
no, I just think it's interesting.
And also that was like making fun of Disney's anti-Semitism.
Well,
like
yeah,
not
no,
like
that's
Family Guy
that's
being it.
exactly what I
Yeah.
mean. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I mean. I just always
Yeah.
find that interesting.
Which was, I thought that was, I just didn't know where that was going.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I was like, what's gonna happen
I
here?
knew. I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to explain this one, but it was like a joke where it's completely empty, but only one guy super far away.
Who
It's
says
giving you
something nice.
compliments.
Oh, saying compliments.
It's a nice guy who says compliments. Like, I like your shirt. And they're
Yeah.
like, thank you. Then they go back to the other universe where it's him again, but it's a portrait of
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Because the universe, Stewie looks at the device. He's like, oh, it's the universe of misleading portraits.
Yeah, no,
So
they're
it starts out in like a park or something.
It's the Family Guy house.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like their home, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we're back home. He's like, no, it's the misleading portraits dimension.
And then
The
they
two
take
guys
the
lift
portrait.
it up.
Then they're like, oh, it's the nice guy again. Oh, fuck.
I guess you got both of us.
Yeah.
that was
But
good.
there was a third one.
really.
Wasn't there a third
no,
one?
it was.
I thought
it was
the
just
the payoff was like, oh,
after the compliment guy, and then
yeah,
they, were
they
just
took
like,
the compliment guy away, and they were like, oh, like
they got both.
they
of
got
us.
both of us.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I
That's the
mean.
third,
They
yeah.
took it and then it was nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah,
Was there more?
yeah. There was one where they were in a frozen universe, or like there was an
The
ice
poo
age.
from the other universe.
Yeah, they were in a frozen universe, and like the remote was out of reach. So then Stewie had to like say compliments or like say things that would get a dog excited
To
and,
wag their tail.
and he was wagging his tail, which was melting the ice, which I thought was kind of clever. And it was funny, like he was saying shit like, "Oh, like you want to go on a rocket walk?"
Really?
He's
Are
like,
we going to?
Yeah, but you're not lying,
We're
right?
really gonna
like
do
we're
that,
really
right?
gonna go on the walk, right?
Yes, of course.
It's so funny because that's probably what your dog thinks whenever you say that you want to take your dog for a walk, right, guys?
So
Right.
I forgot. Yeah,
yeah.
we should wrap things up anyway.
Yeah. Oh, also, real quick, the line delivery of the Blocky universe. When the Blocky one where they're like, "Where the fuck are
like
we?"
the
And Brian's
low,
like, "Ew."
low pixel.
He's like, "Ew, where are we?" It's like, yeah, that was. I don't even know what the fuck that was.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
then I just have so many.
Oh, the real life.
yeah,
like-
the baby.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
dog.
It's like a real human baby and dog. Like that was
Oh,
just
that
so.
was cute.
He's like, and Brian's like, press the button. And the baby, as Stewie's talking, the baby's just going,
That's funny. I wonder like they had to cast like a real they had
It
to
looked
like
like
actually
somebody's kid, honestly.
and it wasn't even that high quality of a camera. Like it looked like someone just had to like put up a tripod
It looks
and
like someone had a BlackBerry, and they were just like one of the writers were like, "You have a kid, right? You have a baby and a dog, right?" They're like, "Yeah." You have a yellow lab,
Thinking
right?
about the production of that is funny.
Yeah.
"Oh, when Quagmire cured his AIDS,
Yeah, yeah.
AIDS,
Oh
NyQuil, and what is it?
the
Cold.
cold flu and AIDS or
AIDS.
something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
man.
"Oh, my AIDS are
Love
cured."
AIDS jokes. Can't get enough.
My NyQuil, cold, flu, and AIDS.
And AIDS. He's like, "Yep, and I'm cured."
Yeah, that was funny. Oh! There was a universe where everyone kind of really has to poop right now. I thought that was stupid.
Oh, when you get on the numbers, the numbers are coming in. Ah,
Yeah.
shit. Okay, wait. I'm gonna go through. I just want to go through some line deliveries because I just
Yeah.
when Peter went yabba dabba hey.
Yeah, great, awesome.
Rock Peter.
Yeah.
Brian's like, which one's red? When Stewie's like, press the red button.
Oh yeah,
Which
the
one's
big-
red?
Yeah, yeah,
The big one.
yeah.
Um.
Because dogs are colorblind.
A wonderful day for pie.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Washington Post one, Brian, as he's laughing, he's pointing. He's like, "Oh, that ought to wake people up." And
Yeah.
Stewie's like,
Yeah,
"What?"
yeah.
That ought to wake people up. Okay, that's it. The next parts are human Brian section. So-
Okay. Yeah. My last. I think I had one more. Oh, me too. human Brian section.
Yeah, they're all human Brian. So we can explain human Brian because that's where the crux of the narrative is.
Yeah.
Human Brian. Because once they get to the universe and Brian sees that all the dogs are superior and the humans are stupid.
Yeah. There's like a bunch of he sees like a bunch of like hot women on their knees with leashes on them.
And they start. One of them comes up and starts licking him.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
like a
dog's
dog.
I'm so sorry about her.
His delivery of like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is just fucking ridiculous. Like as he's getting licked, the animation's crazy. The woman is like,
and he's like, oh, what the fuck? And then the dog's like, let's go. This guy's a fucking creep.
Yeah, this is a freak. Yeah.
And then the dog like catcher's like, sir, you got to put your human on a leash. And Stewie's like, I will not be on a fucking leash.
Yeah. Yeah. Commercial break, then comes back and he's like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this Brian breaks the multiverse device on purpose because he wants to stay in the universe.
Yeah.
He's like, well, come on, we can just stay for a second. We can just chill. And so he's like, but we're about to go home. Breaks the multiverse device. What brings them to the house? Just to like see if there's
I think just to go home.
Just to see like if we're gonna be stuck here, let's go home.
Yeah.
But there's already a version of them, so Stewie has to pretend, and Stewie and Brian have to pretend to be like their neighbors.
Yeah.
Stewie says something that's like, I'm Blake Carrington.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a reference to something.
Oh, okay.
Like that's a
didn't
name
know.
to something.
And he also says like, or something, at least something cool
Dash.
with like an X in it. Like
Yeah.
the cool parents always put an X in it. And I always think that like they always do that. I feel like Stewie's always like the like just calling out like, oh, like they always do this. Like or, like multiple times with the like, don't do that, you know.
Yeah, don't do like little things that people just do subconsciously.
Yeah,
like
normalized social little things that no one really calls out. Stewie's always the one who's like, I
He's
I
so real
love
for
that.
that.
Like that
He's real for that,
Stewie
right,
character
guys?
element.
And I think,
He's like,
Caroline, what's it like sitting in the middle?
it's good. I feel like I can come in whenever.
Sammy, your mic is fucked up, or maybe I just no matter where I sit, I'm
Will.
always
'Cause
doing
you're
this shit with my
touching
mic.
it.
Will, it's you. You're doing that.
What?
Will, it's you. Like if I do this, I'm
Yeah, you fuck up the mic.
Okay.
Being
Not
in the
gonna
middle,
touch it.
I like being in the middle. I feel like I can add commentary whenever, just whenever I feel like it, you know, and you guys can really carry the conversation, which I enjoy because I love listening to you guys talk because you guys are my best friends. But sometimes I feel like I'll say something and you guys don't respond that much.
What you said?
Well, if you say something like, don't I fucking hate myself? Notice how nobody had anything to say there?
Whoa, have I said that before?
No, I think that was just like kind of an exaggeration.
A little
like
bit, yeah.
A hyperbole.
Hyperbole, sure.
Oh no, I like myself. I am what I am, you know.
Like,
going on?
Caroline, like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like literally like that. What do we say?
No, that was the point.
Yeah,
that was
no,
the point.
that
Jesus.
God. Okay.
No, continue. Go ahead.
We should film podcasts in the afternoon more. I'm telling you, I'm just so tired
in the morning. We can't do it.
we maybe that was our issue. I don't
Can
know.
we
Anyway.
change our times when we film the podcast so it's not 10 in the fucking
Oh
morning?
God. Okay, ready?
Bro, shower.
You guys don't
You
have
can solve this by taking a fucking shower. Yes,
showered
Caroline?
this morning.
No.
I showered
No.
this morning. We have to bust.
No?
We have
I was
to
gonna
get through this
say
episode.
something
This
not
is a
good.
2-hour
That's
podcast.
good.
Well, not good. It was just we'd have to cut it out.
Cool.
2 hour. Okay.
No hot water.
You continue.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
human. Oh yeah. Wait. No. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah. Human Bruffins. Human Brian. wait. What the fuck happened to me? Human Brian.
We've lost it. We can't.
No, we
finish
can't
this.
there. Shut it.
We've lost
We
it.
got it. No, Sammy, you got it. You got
Yes.
it.
So they come to the house. I'm Blake Carrington, and I think Brian is like, no. Brian says like, this is my friend Gabe or something. Wait,
Yeah,
Gabe. And so he's like, I don't want to be
Stewie's like,
Gabe.
"Aw."
I'm Gabe, and
like
Brian's
being
like,
in the
I'm
middle.
Blake Carrington, and Stewie's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah. He does 2 awes. The first
know,
aw's like, oh.
kinda
The second one's
feels
like,
like they don't really
oh.
care
Like,
what I
yeah,
have to
because
say
like that's such a
sometimes.
cool name.
But I like.
So they
being in
come
the
in
middle.
and Peter's like, who's at the door? Who's at the door? Who's at the door? Who's at the door? Hi guys, you
know,
guys
I
at the
feel like
door?
sometimes I'll say
It's like,
something
oh,
and Sammy
Peter's a
just
dog.
doesn't think it's
Nice.
funny.
They
And
come
you
in,
know,
they're like,
we
here's
just have
Peter, here's
different
Chris,
senses of
Yeah.
humor,
here's
and that's
Meg, who's
fine.
an ugly dog.
But it just
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
here's
The
my
Meg
sense
being
of
a
humor
pit bull,
isn't
I thought was
appreciated
Yeah,
like
here
a
on
and
the
she's like
podcast.
drooling. here's
So I'll say something
Stewie
that
and
I
here's
think is funny
Brian, and it's like an
just- no,
Avengers like
just it falls
reveal.
on
He's
deaf
got a
ears.
newspaper.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'll talk about jerking off instructions.
hello
I think that's
guys,
such a what a
and Brian's
wild
like,
concept.
what?
And
Um,
I think it's funny. To
Caroline!
what?
Stewie takes the other Stewie aside. Dog Stewie takes human Stewie aside. Unclips the leash. It's like, I know who
Well,
you are.
No!
No, cut their mics and I'll just keep doing my own
Cut
podcast.
their mics.
There. Wait.
Now you're reaching.
There.
Now you're reaching.
Reaching because we're picking cotton. Oh,
Or bananas off the
Guys.
trees. What? What?
You guys are just being racist towards yourselves at this point. It's insane.
It's fucking hot in here. What happened?
I thought it was cold. I thought it was freaking cold.
It was so cold in here when we started this. We have to get through this.
What happened? So they go back to the universe and everything's cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened.
Great
but
episode of Family Guy.
they bring human Brian back, then he gets hit by a car and dies.
That's
Yeah.
funny. And foreshadowing to when Brian gets hit by a car. Spoilers.
What the fuck? We didn't get there.
Spoilers.
So just
Remember when they tried to make that happen and people were like, no.
just acknowledgements of the Peter Griffin. Wait, of the Brian of the
Shipped
other
get-
dog universe.
Dipchick.
I'm your neighbor Blake Carrington. The shuffle button. Dog Stewie's
That was
like
funny, yeah.
Stewie's like Dog Stewie's like I perfected multiversal travel, and Stewie's like I've been trying to get it for so long, and Dog Stewie's like, was it on the shuffle button? And Stewie's like, oh,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
so much sense.
That's why the little crossy
the
arrows was
crossy
at
arrows.
the top.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is another funny thing that he just calls out, like, because I've made that mistake.
Where it's
before,
like, why
actually.
is my music like
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
It's on shuffle.
That's the shuffle button.
When they get back to the regular universe, when they know that they're back, Meg is like, "Where's my like some device? Like, where's my remicular processor?" And Peter's like, fucking shoves her face into his asshole and farts in her mouth, and she's like, "Ah!" And
Yeah.
they're like, "Okay, we're back."
We're back home. But
Yeah.
they said it in a way that was like because just how stupid that is. I like when Family Guy like will make stupid jokes, but then say it like ironically, sarcastically in a way that they like know that it's stupid. Like
Yeah.
they're like, ah, right guys,
Right, guys.
right audience, and
This
I'm like,
was good,
ah,
right?
yeah.
And then I think the last thing that made me laugh, it was
Yeah.
it was towards the end of the episode where human Brian is like in the real universe where humans are the superior like species,
Yeah.
and he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and Stewie's like, well, what luck, you're white.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you-
You have
you
no idea how
how-
good that how like lucky that is.
You're
here.
good.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay.
Thanks everyone for watching the Hypothetical Nonsense podcast. My name's Caroline. This is Sammy. This is Will. And we had an
Are we starting over?
Oh shit! Thanks everyone. No, I said thanks everyone for listening to the
I think
Hypothetical
so,
Nonsense
yeah.
podcast. My
But
name's
why were
Caroline.
you?
This is
The ending introducing us at
Shut
the
up!
end.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Thanks everyone for watching the Hypothetical.
Fade out. The fade out.
Thanks everyone for watching the Hypothetical Nonsense podcast. My name's Caroline. This is Sammy. This is Will.
all right, guys.
To sum things up,
Guys,
Family Guy's better than American
none
Dad.
of the SIM cards are working in these cameras. We have to do this over.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who wants to start?
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Overall, what, one word?
That's
Or
all
was
we
it the
get.
fade?
Welcome back to the Hypothetical Nonsense podcast. We will be talking about we're going to be doing something fun today. What
We're
the
gonna be
fuck
playing
happened?
Family Guy versus American Dad Simulator.
Yes. And Caroline, wake up, please. Wait, I know just the thing to wake her up.
No, don't scream. Don't scream. Don't scream. Don't scream. Please don't scream into the mic. Oh my god. Please don't.
I don't
'cause
think
I'm
he was
already
gonna-
dead.
That wasn't gonna
Okay.
actually.
Oh shit. Oh, now I'm caught.
Caroline, can you focus up so we could do the podcast?
And listen down.
Scratch that and reverse it. Okay, so I have some general Family Guy versus American Dad notes that I can start if we want to get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's do it in 9 minutes.
9
'cause I
minutes.
have
Got
some
it.
overall notes as well.
Got it. I think Family Guy achieves the like kind of randomness in a funnier way than American Dad. I gave some examples of the American Dad like jokes that are trying to be like because it's funny when the Family Guy will do like a really complex cutaway. It's like, even if I don't understand it, I'm like, this is probably funny as fuck. Like, I don't know why, but it's like, I'm like, this shit's probably hilarious. Even though I don't know who this celebrity is and I don't know why he's eating a cheeseburger in this. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's probably hilarious. And I also put Stewie's, like, I feel like the characters add more and interact with each other in a better way. Like, it makes sense that Stewie and Brian are like best friends because they kind of bounce off each other in a way that I think works better than like it seems like then again, I've seen more Family Guy than American Dads for sure. So I don't know like exactly the established dynamics, but we didn't really get to see much of like, it seemed like the kids were just kind of there just because there needed to be kids, like because they have like American Dad.
If we do this again, we got some weird episodes for American Dad because I've seen some American Dad episodes. And the dynamic between all the Family Guy characters is more solidified because Family Guy has had more time to just like be Family Guy.
It's been around longer?
Yeah.
Family Guy has?
Yeah.
Like a lot longer?
I think so. I think Family Guy started in like the late 90s, no? Like early 2000s.
Let's get a fact check for Family Guy versus American Dad, like the difference in
because American Dad came after. I don't know how much after, but it did come after.
And it's actually really interesting. So Family Guy was from 1999 to like 2002, and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
And then they aired American Dad to replace Family Guy, but then they brought Family Guy back.
Oh.
So Family Guy came first, and American Dad was supposed to replace it.
So Family Guy had like a 3-year head start, which is like 100 episodes.
Yeah, but I don't think that's that like by now.
But I think here's actually the difference. Seth MacFarlane also started on Family Guy, was able to like be like, this is Family Guy. They cancel his show and he's like, all right, fuck, American Dad.
Yeah.
And then when they bring back Family Guy, his time is now split between two. Already knowing the dynamic of Family Guy, and kind of still figuring out American Dad, he has time to solidify Family Guy. At the same time, he's pretty much making a new show.
Yeah, developing from scratch.
So American Dad always had like Family Guy always had a head start with just like everything. And I think that could be wrong, but I feel like that's why American Dad just feels a little bit more disjointed. But that doesn't
but that means like it still lacks like the character development.
Yeah.
I think.
But what I think, here's what I think for the overall points. Also, I think it's funny conceptually that if the title's like, we watch Family Guy and this episode's 3 hours long, I think that's just a funny screenshot. Like, bros yapping about Family Guy. But anyway, I think American Dad, I think Family Guy is just more consistent. I think American Dad had some big laughs, but the overall episodes were kind of like, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Family Guy was consistently like, this is an episode of Family Guy.
Yeah. So, to wrap things all up, Family Guy is better than American Dad. And if you don't think so, if you don't agree with us, then fuck you.
Yeah. And also for the audio listeners.
Thanks everyone for watching the Hypothetical Nonsense podcast. Awesome.
I'm smoking dip ships. What the fuck?